NHL Nightly with your host, the sportsman, a.k.a. Peter Lebowski, a.k.a. Jeremiah Maxwell. And with him, as always, maybe Pearlo, Wisdom, and Rico in Barrie.
Hey, everybody. You're probably wondering why we're live early. And as our friend Logan Hacker says in the chat, there's been some trade news. So we decided to go early, live 1 hour early. We'll have Rico and Pearlo here in a moment. Rico very, very soon, and Pearlo here in about 20 minutes. If you're just joining us, there's been huge breaking news. The Vancouver Canucks traded Andrei Kuzmenko and another prospect for Elias Lindholm. So huge news. Per Darren Dreger, Hunter Bruskowitz is also part of the deal. I believe the Flames have officially tweeted earlier reports that Brandon Tanev was a part of the deal. That is not the case. He's not a part of the deal. So whether they're going to make some more moves or not, we shall see. So Vancouver really making some news. They really want to capitalize on where they're. So Lindholm traded from Flames to Canucks. Per just about everybody. I saw it from Seravalli, but I will just throw that up on there. Daniel Barrie, thank you so much for being with us. So we're early. We're a little early. I just really appreciate it. I tried to get some other people. I reached out to some other people to get some people on the show. We'll see. Fingers crossed if some other people come on and talk about it. I think it's a huge trade. And it definitely solidifies, if Lindholm's playing like third line center for them. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, appreciate everybody being out there, coming in. We've already got a handful of people in the chat, so I really appreciate it. And as soon as Rico comes back, we'll talk our thoughts. I was going to pull up the line combinations from Daily Faceoff and see. Let's just play, see what they have. They may not even have it as fast as this is going to be. Unbelievable where we're at with this. So, yeah, I mean, right now they had Teddy Bluger playing third line center. So you could slot in, you could throw Teddy on the fourth line, and it's going to be real interesting. So, depending on what your thoughts are here, let's pull up the top four. Let's get Rico in. Well, huge news, Rico. Like I told you guys, I thought something would happen over this trade deadline or over this All-Star break. I just felt like the team that moves early is gonna do something, And so they took I don't know who's missing as the left wing. I'm assuming they had Kuzmenko up on that list. But I'm going to guess that they're going to slot they could either move JT Miller up to the top line. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't make sense.
No, these lines aren't right. It's JT Miller, Brock Besser, and Pettersson on that first line right now.
Okay. All right. Well,
then
this
there's
is
Teddy Bluger, Connor Garland, and Bluger, Garland, and Joshua on one line.
Okay. Yeah, and you got to figure Lindholm is going to play center, at least second or third line for them. That's huge news, man. I sorry.
Yeah, dude. I mean, geez, that's two trades between Vancouver and Calgary right now.
That's what? What'd you say?
That's twice that Calgary and Vancouver have traded early early before the All-Star.
Yeah, there's the Torov trade too. Yeah, I saw our good man Hot Take Hockey say he thought Tanev was going to be a part of the deal. they'd obviously, I think Tyler Myers would have to be moved out there. Probably he's the guy that they'd probably trade. Yeah, I mean, if you just look like Connor Garland, nothing against him, but he's a winger, so it's going to be cool. It's going to be interesting. I mean, I already thought they were a really good team, man. So, like, they probably need to add one more D if they can, but like, pretty impressive. We'll pull this off. Let's see if Daily Faceoff gets off their draft and updates it. I know Cap Friendly's already got the statistics out for it and stuff. So,
well, I mean, they're identifying a team that's playing well. They might be even a little bit overachieving, but they're hot. They're playing well at the right time, and obviously talking in the management, believe in them. So, I mean, it's interesting that they went and got Lindholm instead of, maybe they were sniffing around for Gensel, especially Rutherford being familiar with Gensel from his time in Pittsburgh. But it'd be interesting to see if Dubas is hanging on to him or not.
I've got the exact. This is from the NHL. Let me pull this banner down so we can all see this. They get Elias Lindholm. They trade Andrei Kuzmenko, Hunter Brustovich, which I think was a big product. Yoni Yermo, a first-round pick for this season, and a conditional fourth-round pick. And I don't know what the conditions of that fourth round are, but that's the trade in a nutshell right there from the NHL.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have those people that say the best player in the trade wins, but holy crap, that's a lot to give up for one guy without any other pieces going the other way as well too. But I mean, the money worked because Kuzmenko was signed to some money as well too. And I mean, it could be just a rental for Vancouver too, depending if they're going to re-sign him or not. That'll be interesting to see.
I mean, if you're giving up a first, you're giving up a high D prospect. I mean, you kind of probably want to try to keep the guy, right? I don't know. Yeah, unreal, man. Like, I just knew something was going to go down over this trade of this All-Star break. I just felt like we were going to see something pretty nuts. Yeah, I was trying to see if Cap Friendly had anything. I think they have a player tool lineup matchup thing, and we could dick around with their lines and we could see. But we had plans to talk about draft picks, and we got a couple games on. Ottawa's up 2-1 on the Red Wings with 12 minutes to go left in the third. Darkness loves the Lindholm deal for the Flames. Yeah, I mean, you're getting a defensive prospect, two defensive prospects, in Yoni Yermo and Hunter Brustovich. I hope I'm saying that close to right. And then you're getting a guy in Kuzmenko who's got another year left on his deal that has shown he could throw the puck in the net. I'm sure Calgary could use the secondary scoring. Gabby, what's up, man? Good to see you. Good to have you. I'd love to see Bacon. Reach out to Bacon. We got to get Bacon in the chat here. He's the Flames fan. I'd love to hear what he's got going on and how he feels about that thing.
Good young player too. That Hunter Brosovich, I guess he was with the U.S. National Development Program. Then he played the last 2 years in the Kitchener Rangers. I think he's got like 60-something points in 40-something games as well too. Big, tall, right-handed shot defenseman. Looks like offensive. Puts up some penalty minutes as well too. So 19-year-old. So he might be able to step in the lineup maybe another year for Calgary. Maybe play him on the bottom pair on the right side.
Well, and, we still don't know what they're going to do with Hanifin. I heard the offers on a table. I heard somewhere in the vicinity of $60 million, which is like 7-5. So big news in the Kings game, Alex Turcotte, which I found funny because we went over the 2018 World Juniors from the U.S. World Juniors, scored his first career goal as an NHLer, which is nice. Nice to see him get going there a little bit. TNT tonight, no Biz, obviously, but they have special guest Craig Berube. So he's sitting in Tocchet's spot. So going to be real interesting to see if Rick got hired out of that spot. Going to be interested to see who hires Berube next, because he's definitely getting another job. So
yeah, that's like the coach's seat, right? You go right from the TNT desk behind the bench.
Yeah, I think it is. I think there's something to do. So Gabby goes, Getzel for Hoglander. That's a W for D prospects and 2 first. Yeah, we'll see. I just have a tough time believing Pittsburgh's in a rock and a hard place. They're trying to make the playoffs. Oh man, Derek Lalonde not happy. A penalty was just called. He's saying dive. I've noticed they're calling some diving a little bit here on some plays as of late. Let's go big here. Oh, that's not what we want. That's a little better. Okay. And I can refer back to this anytime. So we'll just pop back in. Having a nice cool cold beer on a. So you eat dinner a little later than most, huh? Like it's 9 o'clock.
Yeah, you know what happened was I woke up with a bit of a sore throat this morning, so I slept in a couple extra hours, and I honestly just passed out on the couch for a couple extra hours, and I just had like a hot soup, and now I just need a beer to kind of wake me up a bit.
Little green tea and honey will do your throat some good too. I always throw that on.
Yeah, I had
so if you're just joining us, guys, thank you. Huge news. I'll throw this back up on it's Vancouver Canucks receive forward Elias Lindholm for Andrei Kuzmenko, Hunter Bruce, Yoni Yermo, a first-round pick for next year, which, if you're Vancouver, you hope it's 32nd, and a 2024 fourth-round pick. I really love what Vancouver's doing here. I wanted to comment on what Gabby said here real quick, and then we'll stop sharing here. Gensel for Hoglander. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate you. I'm on Instagram too. We're on Instagram Live. I see we have some folks in the chat there, Andrew and C Jones and Bolts and Caps fan and Holdy 92. So appreciate everybody joining on every platform they can. I don't know why we're not getting the crossover from the chat. Like Kim was able to do that with her own Instagram Live when we went live with her. But we're trying to grow this channel, man. So everybody that leaves something and likes something and shares it, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. We don't take it for granted. We're really trying to grow here into like a hockey talk / gambling aficionado show. We definitely want to talk hockey, but so really, really impressive trade pulled off by Jim Rutherford, Patrick Allvin. That's probably why Allvin couldn't get on the phone with Kipper and Bourne today. Something went down. He was supposed to be on and then not available. I'm assuming they were doing the workings of this deal as per, because Allvin just signed a contract extension. We had not talked about that on this show, but pretty crazy, man. Paul Almeida says Holland better get working if he wants to bring the Flames Lindholm to the Oilers and keep the Canucks from getting him. Kuzmenko apparently needs to waive his no trade to Calgary. That's from Paul Almeida an hour ago. The NHL has treated this trade out, so I don't think it's going to work out for the Edmonton Oilers. Kevin Weeks live at 30,000 feet. My main man said, go ahead.
He was in the United portion of the airport there, and you could just see the top of his head, and he was kind of just reporting what he heard. So you got all these hockey insiders and outsiders and everybody all over the place, all over the countries and airports everywhere right now. Then this news drops, and Lindholm's on his way to the All-Star game as well too right now. So.
Yeah. I didn't realize he was Calgary's All-Star this year. So that's crazy. So he's going to be, and that's happened before, I think, where a guy's heading to the All-Star game and gets traded. So, I was going to be on Wrestling on the Rocks, a wrestling show. Thus, I'm wearing the American Nightmare shirt. Cody Rhodes, and just talking a little bit of WWE. And we're going to do something special tomorrow. So tune in to Wrestling on the Rocks. He'll be putting something out there, like a little special edition with me and Ref Marsh. So I had to cancel with him because it was looking dicey anyway. I had to cancel because this news came out. I was like, hey, we got to go live. We got to talk about this. So. Yeah, you're right, Andrew. Andrew nailed it. It happened with Bo Horvat last year. Remember, Bo Horvat got traded at the All-Star, and Lamoriello was again, and that benefited them. Now he didn't play great down the stretch for them, but he's played really well for the Islanders this year. And this is a good. I think the sooner you jump on, I think the teams that wait to the trade day are not doing themselves any favors. And I understand there are teams still thinking they're contending. The Caps need to start looking. This is a chance to move a Kuznetsov. You know, he's only got 2 years left at 7-2. You could eat half of that and really get some workable things back. And Kuznetsov on a team that's looking for, like Edmonton, if you put Kuznetsov at a third-line center and take half that money, and I don't know what they'd have to take back. Obviously, they're going to have to get 3, probably money in, money out. But, you know, you could get a pick. So Darkness says, I agree waiting till the deadline is bad. I speak from experience on a year ago. Yeah. Move Max, Andrew Ford says. So the thing with Max Pacioretty is he has a no trade clause. So he signed with the Capitals and had a no trade clause. So going to be really, if he's involved, it's going to have to be a team he wants to go to. By the way, Detroit's tied that game up. I'll update the score. It's 2-2, 6:30. This is a big game for Detroit. This is equally a big game for Ottawa if they have any hopes to get back into the playoff thing. But
yeah, I took Detroit and the draw here. And then I got LA with a small play on the draw in the LA game.
Yeah, I think Dylan Larkin got the goal there. Wow, that is a
sweet.
That's
Good.
Did you have a goal? Did you have a goal scoring prop for Larkin?
For Larkin.
Did you? Oh, hold on. Here we go. Whoop, 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 whoop. Rico hit a goal scoring prop. There we go. Yeah, all right. You need LA in regulation. Okay, Darkness. Well, that's looking good. It's 2-0, and I don't believe the third period has started yet. Yeah, Carolina could use Pacioretty. I agree with that, Andrew. I honestly was kind of surprised he didn't re-sign with them, but maybe just the handling of his Achilles and how he got injured. Maybe he felt like they got rushed back, and Carolina didn't want to have anything to do with him. Gabby goes, Timmy's got to stop diving. It's getting crazy. When he legitimately gets trips, the refs look the other way. I agree, Gabby. You don't want to get a reputation as a diver, and I know you are a diehard Sens fan and you want to see it. Tarasenko to Carolina. I could see that. I mean, Ottawa should be looking at moving stuff now anyway. I really want to know what Ottawa's going to do with Jacob Chychrun. Are they going to change Chychrun, or are they going to try to move it? What about the Leafs in on Chychrun? Ottawa and the Leafs have been known to make some deals. I know it's
Toronto needs a right-handed shot, though. Don't need a lefty.
Yeah, but if you could upgrade, so Morgan's a lefty, right? So you could play, isn't Morgan a lefty?
Yeah, so is TJ Brody. I mean, so is Giordano.
But I'm saying Brody.
McCabe.
Okay.
It's just Lilligren and Connor Timmins that are right-handed shots there.
Yeah, so hey, Isaacs, how's it going? Good to see you, man. Thanks for coming on. We're on a little early. I've just got confirmation we're gonna have a special guest. Hopefully we get a big buzz from that. I was working diligently to get somebody else on to talk about this trade. I was just curious what your thoughts were about adding a player like Chychrun, who I think would just fit in that lineup really good. And you could play him. I know Benoit's been playing really good, but So they have. So I thought TJ Brody was a right-hand shot.
No.
Oh,
no.
so they have Brody and Morgan Rielly playing on the top line together. So
yeah, dude, they have five left-hand shots and 2 right-hand shots, and the right-hand shots are Liljegren and Timmins. They severely need somebody on the right side.
Well, and Timmins, they're not even counting him in their starting lineup right now.
No.
That they say Morgan Rielly, TJ Brody, Simone Benoit. I've been impressed with him. Jake McCabe, Giordano, and Liljegren. But Giordano, it was a crazy deal, my main man, Hot Take Hockey. And I just, I wonder if you could see Ottawa has to trade one of those defensemen, right? You're not trading Sanderson, so you're either trading Shabbat or you're trading Chychrun. It makes no sense to have. I mean, they're going to have Chychrun's going to get $6 to $8 million. You're going to have, 24 million per year locked up into 3 defensemen. So
I think Chychrun's name's getting thrown around there way too much for him or Steve Stalos's liking right now.
What now?
You hear that on a lot of pods. You hear that on Spit Chicklets, and I was like, yeah, way to go. Keep dragging my name through the mud. So Stais is even more pissed off at me that I'm mentioning Chychrun. Like he said, there was no trade for him. He never put him out on a block. He never put it out there. It's just people putting his name out there, I guess, because it does make sense to probably move him at the deadline. Or
Andrew says
during the All-Star game, like Lindholm.
Yeah, I get it, but this is, like I said, the teams that get early are good to go. I think one, you give more time to gel, and one you get
an extra month.
Yeah, like Vancouver knows they're going for it. Calgary knows it's going to be an uphill battle just to try to make the playoffs. And they're 3 years away from their new arena. Tear it down, build it back up. By the time you hit 2027, you've got a young team that's developed. This is a good move by Conroy. If they don't sign Hanifin, I expect them to trade him. I wouldn't even be shocked if they moved on from Kadri. I think that definitely doesn't happen at this year. But in two seasons, a year or two, I could see him trading Kadri. Especially when the cap, if we get, between now and 2 seasons, you got 12, 15 million more in cap space. A lot of teams would be willing to take him on. Colorado probably take him back with open arms. I really thought Lindholm to Colorado or like the New York Rangers would be big, but those 2 teams didn't have a ton to give up. And I, give Vancouver credit. They're giving up some stuff here. Well, Andrew likes Hanifin back to Carolina, but Andrew, you don't need defensemen in Carolina. It's like the one thing you don't need. So,
well, I'm sure Rutherford's made some calls on Kuzmenko and just tried to get the best he could back from him, because that was a good little carrot to dangle out of Vancouver as well. I'm sure he got a hold of Dubas to see about moving Gensel for Kuzmenko and some kind of deal there. Probably not happening. It'd be interesting to see if they carry Gensel. I mean, they'll probably wait till the trade deadline, till Pittsburgh's either in or out for sure to make that move. Probably not so early for a team like Pittsburgh, but like you said, a team like Calgary that knows they can get a good haul, bring in Kuzmenko. That Joni Jurmo guy, he was a defenseman for Finland at the 2022 World Juniors. And then the other Hunter guy too, he's putting up the points in Kitchener. And then you got the first round pick. It's a low pick, but then you got a 4th. I mean, it's a good deal for both teams. Calgary definitely got a haul, but Vancouver's in win now mode, and they get a guy nice and early, like you said. So you get to start with your new team coming out of the All-Star break nice and fresh as well too. So I don't know. It's a great hockey move, man.
Yeah, so Gabby, just real quick to go back to what we were talking about with Ottawa, says, I have no issues with keeping all 3 defensemen, make it work. Get a strong right-hand defenseman, maybe trade Tarasenko for pieces and trade pieces for the RHD, and then fill the rest of your team with young kids. Yeah, I get that. I mean, and Gabby, you're going to have a high pick this year. I mean, if you don't improve in the standings, which, Ottawa's traditionally been a second-half team as of late, but they just couldn't start the way they did. Darkness, St. Louis would like Hanifin if they could extend him. I guarantee you no one's trading for him without getting an extension in place so they can get that 8th year. So if anybody's giving up anything for Hanifin, Darkness, we're definitely going to see that. So you say Slavin plus Pesci though. Andrew, I'm not reading what you're saying. Are you thinking potentially that you would have somebody, one of those two players, and Slavin and Pesci be part of the trade? I know Pesci up for a deal. His deal's up this year, right? He's a UFA, pending UFAs. We should just look. Who's UFAs, pending UFAs? That Cap Friendly has a pretty good.
Trading them both for Hannafin.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why they would move on from Jacob Slavin, but yeah.
I mean, that Calgary trade when they got Hannafin and Lindholm for, who was it, for Furlant and Dougie Hamilton? I think that was a 2-for-2 trade when Hannafin and Lindholm went to Calgary, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They sent Furlant and
Hannafin was part of the trade to bring Hamilton to Carolina, and then Carolina let Hamilton walk. I think he became a UFA, and I think he played a couple of seasons there, did he not?
Yeah.
So the top RFA UFA is obviously Pettersson. Then you've got Sam Reinhart, Matt Murray. Matt Murray will be a free agent next year. Kipper has said on his show he believes he'll play. So if he's not playing with Toronto, he'll play somewhere. And if he's healthy, like I could see Toronto having him as a third emergency goalie in the playoffs. Wouldn't you? I mean, if you have a healthy Joseph Wall and Samsonov continues to play good, and because there's no cap penalties and you're already paying Murray, and you're probably not going to get anything for him, except for maybe a team that wants LTIR relief might trade for him since he's a UFA the end of this year. I could see that actually being a trade. If these general managers get still 2-2, by the way, in that Ottawa Detroit game, 3 minutes left to go. You had the draw, correct? And then we're still looking good on the Kings being up 2-0 on Nashville, but I think there's a penalty for interference, and I do not know if that's going against Nashville. I think that might be. Oh, no, Doughty's going to the box. He does not look happy. So Sam Reinhart, another UFA. I expect Reinhart to sign. I mean, he does tackle him, I guess, but it looked like the goalie had the puck anyway. Kind of a dumb penalty for Doughty to take. Yeah. Tyler Myers going to be UFA. I expect Vancouver's trying to move out Tyler Myers and add another top four defenseman. So that could be a Hannafin or Tanev.
Then you'd have to attach another pick to that.
I mean, you got to give something to get something, right? Adam Henrique, we expect him to be traded, and we talked about it. Anthony Mantha, he's having a good year for the Caps too, man. He's really having a good year. He's a big forward that anybody that's looking to add, like the Islanders, somebody, I don't know, the Caps that eat 50% of that, they're not retaining any salary on anybody, so they could make some trades and retain. As much as I hate to run him out because he's had such a good year, it might be time to move on from him and get some assets back, and this is a good way. This is where Brian McClellan needs his due diligence. Jake Muzzin is a UFA. You think Jake Muzzin comes back? That's highly doubtful, right? The only right shot D that's a UFA besides Tyler Myers. So what about a Tyler Myers to Toronto? Would you like? You need a right shot D, you said.
I guess that would work, but
maybe like a three-way trade where TJ Brody gets. I don't know. I mean, you got to get money out, right? You got to get $6 million out. So Brody makes like $5 million. You're gonna have to make. You'd probably have to have Vancouver retain maybe $1 million on that if you just did a straight swap, which they probably would be willing to do if they're trying to get rid of Tyler Myers. D'Angelo, I expect to get traded. He's not really even playing full time. I think he's kind of 7th-ing for. The problem is Carolina. I mean, they have so many D on that team. Like, they really could afford to get rid of them. Yeah, KQ, big time trade for your Flames. Yep, Flames getting some players. That's why we went early. Guys. So yeah, Jordan Eberle is a free agent. I could see Seattle trading him too. We'll see. Okay, here we got Pearlo here. Hey Pearlo, how's it going? Sorry we went early, but just huge trade. I said there'd be a trade over the All-Star, and then Andrew reminded me last year that we saw the Bo Horvat trade. And I think these GMs that jump on it early, now obviously that didn't work out great. He's played great this year for them, no doubt about
Nashville
it.
Scored.
Oh, yeah. Philip Forsberg makes it 2-1. And we're about 1:21 left from you hitting your draw and the game here. So we are going to have a special guest to come on. I have gotten confirmation he's going to come on as soon as he gets back from his hotel. And we'll have him on the show to talk about this crazy trade. Pearlo, why don't you give your thoughts on what do you think the move? You think it's a good move by Vancouver?
It's a great move by Vancouver. You get rid of a player that didn't want to be there, and then a bunch of other stuff to get a good player. This is a great move.
Is that beeping from my end, or am I getting a?
Oh no, just wait.
It's like a smoke alarm beep. Okay. Yeah. IceX is hearing it. Yeah, it's smoke alarm beep. Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
this is your annual reminder. We'll do it on the show every year. We'll just remind Pearlo change the batteries in his smoke alarms.
Yeah. I hear it clear as day, and I think it's in my house. And the last time I did it, it was not on my end. So,
well, just look at those guys that Calgary got back from Vancouver for Hanifin. Sure, you got Kuzmenko. Sure, the picks are down there, but you got 2 defensemen in there. One with high upside
for Lindholm.
For Lindholm, I meant. But yeah, look at the defensemen. So that just points to their next move, probably, right? Being able to insulate the back end a little bit with prospects in that deal.
Well, they're definitely going to trade Chris Tanev too, right? Now it makes no sense. If they're not re-signing Lindholm, I expect him. If they re-sign him, great. He just turned 27. So if he signs an 8-year deal, it only takes him to 35. It's not a bad deal. It's a really good deal. Chris Tanev is the right shot D. I know the Leafs want him, but he makes 4-5. So we don't have KQ. Who do you think won the deal? Is that who you're asking? I think right now, immediately you got to give it to Vancouver, but I think long term, it looks like PLD took a penalty, so they're going down again a man here. The Kings might be slipping it away from him. Yep. King Sens and Wings are going OT. So you hit your draw, Rico.
Yeah, now I need Detroit to win an overtime or shootout. That would be even better. But I hit the draw, and I got the LA draw with the LA win as well.
Yeah, I reached out to Canuck Clay, and he would have agreed to come on the show, but he was at church, so he was really annoyed that all this Canucks news was going on. So I told him, have a good service, Clay. Thank you so much. If you guys don't know Clay, he's great. He's a great guy, and you should always check out his channel. He hosts Canucks After Dark. He was part of the SDPN. He did Canucks Game Over. And he's had a pretty happy year, I'm sure, with what's been going on. Hey, I really want to thank Hot Take Hockey for retweeting and posting that we're live. Thank you. Every bit of that helps. We've got Pearlo back. Okay, so Pearlo, go ahead and finish your thoughts on this deal. Did you get to see the deal in total? Here it is. I'll just put it up for you. So, we'll go this way. So that's the deal in total as per the NHL. Lindholm for Andrei Kuzmenko, Hunter Bruchowicz, who's playing for the Kitchener Rangers, but was on the U.S. development team. And Rico had a little bit more on Yoni Yurmo. And then they get a first-round pick and a conditional fourth-round pick. So that's the deal in totality.
Yeah, so Yurmo was a defenseman on the Finnish 2022 World Junior team, and then Hunter Busnevich, or whatever the hell his name is, U.S. development team, played for Kitchener Rangers last 2 years, including this year, 67 points in 48 games, I believe, for a tall right-handed shot defenseman.
Yeah, dude, which are gold in the NHL right now, right, too. We're just talking about that, like who the free agents are. Matt Dumba's another guy maybe that could be added. Pesce also, but I do you see Carolina moving Pesce out unless they get somebody else in, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe they can afford to trade Pesce because of all their defensive depth. But go ahead, Pearlo. Your thoughts on the deal?
It's a great deal. I mean, Kuzmenko wasn't playing really all that much. And then you got a bunch of like maybes. So I think it's a great deal for Vancouver. I think they did a really good move here.
Yeah,
that's what I would say. Yeah.
And not strange.
Look at the timing.
Yeah, I mean, I love that they get an extra month with Lindholm. And we were talking about this before you came on, Pearlo. I think these GMs that wait till the trade deadline now are not doing themselves service. And I understand. There are teams that are like, oh, we're still in it, and the money revenue from having playoff games is huge. But I just don't know. So Andrew says, Pesce plus D'Angelo for a bottom six forward. Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe they move a Pesce. I like Pesce. I wouldn't mind seeing him on my team. I know he's having a little bit of a down year this year. He's got 3 goals, 4 assists, and he's a -2. But
I think he moves for sure. They're going to use him for something. I don't know what they're going to get.
You think Pesce moves for sure?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Well, that's I'm surprised to hear you say that. That's crazy. Okay, I'll keep popping that up. We are having a special guest on. Like I said, 15 minutes or so, and then tonight we're going to do something a little different. After we end the show, we're going to stay on for what I'll call sudden death overtime, where we just BS about hockey and until guys have to leave and go do other things. Since we have some games on, we have some actual decent games on, and we still have Anaheim and San Jose to drop the puck at 10:30 Eastern. I don't know if we'll be on that long, but we'll definitely be on for a little bit. And if anybody needs to take a break, go take a break.
Damn it.
What? Oh, did Ottawa win in overtime? Okay, Ottawa wins in OT.
Oh, well.
You didn't have Ottawa, Rico?
I had to draw, but I also took Detroit on the money line.
Oh, I had Ottawa. So
KQ says the suspense. If you guys know me well, you won't be surprised who the guest is. But I really, anybody that knows Bacon, reach out to him because we miss him in the environment here, and I'd love to see him around. I think that he's a great Flames fan and stuff like that. So, by the way, 15 seconds into that power play for Nashville, Ryan O'Reilly took a penalty. Then there's another penalty by the Kings. It's 4-on-3 for 18 seconds. Still 2-1 LA. This has been crazy. An excellent shot on goal by Philip Forsberg to give you a little bit of play-by-play here as the Nashville Predators try to use the last seconds of this 4-on-3. I'll give you the stats. I guess it's going to be a 4-on-4 for 17 seconds, and then we're going to see. I'm assuming Nashville will have about 1:45, 5-on-4. So 11:30 to go left in that game. And
who'd you have on that one? Who'd you have on that one, Rico?
I took LA in the draw.
Oh, that's a good pick. That's a good pick for sure. I took Nashville. I just don't trust that LA team at all right now. Like, not at all.
Isaacs took. Isaacs apparently had. Isaacs, well, it was 2-0 LA, Pearlo. They've looked pretty good so far, but yes, I totally get it. By the way,
Isaacs had the Sens too. That's money.
Yeah, there you go. Isex has had the sends, Rico, so he's all cheering in the chat.
Oh yeah, that's okay.
I'm super stoked for Isex and super bummed out for my good friend Rico that he didn't hit his bet. I of course don't have anything on anything until me and occupancy get a little sit down, and I'll see how his gambling app works for those of us that live in states where we have to go through these fangle sporting, plus point things. So we'll just see. So yeah, just to recap, we came on early 40 minutes ago to talk about the breaking news of Elias Lindholm being traded from Vancouver to Calgary, from Calgary to Vancouver. Pearlo loves the deal. I more than anything, I don't even know how Lindholm's going to fit in there, but I just think Rick Tocchet's such a great coach. He's going to do unbelievable stuff here. So Isaac says he has Sens money line, which he hit. Kings 1.5, which I think you need another goal here from the Kings in, don't you? Nashville's only got 10 seconds left of this power play. LA has effectively killed it. So I think they won't be scoring on the power play at the very least. The power play is over. They did get a nice scoring chance, but LA is back to even strength. And Isaac, so you need another goal, I'm assuming. If I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. And then he has Ducks plus 105. Laugh out loud. So, Ice, thanks for being with us, man. Appreciate you. Rico, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just say quickly, Nashville's out shooting the Kings pretty good too. So
yeah. So Rico, for he just tweeted, so you will see. You will see that we'll maybe get a little bit of plus and guest with our good friend coming on here real quick. I'll let you know. Rico, for the people that didn't show up early, why don't you just recap your thoughts on the deal, and hopefully our guest pops on here pretty soon, and then we'll get his thoughts and where he wants to see some other moves and stuff. Everybody heading to Toronto for the weekend. I feel kind of jealous I'm not there for it. It would be so much fun. Chicklets, the Wayne Gretzky thing, all the stuff going on there just looks like a great time. I sure could. It sure would be cool. They've already got. Stuff up for welcoming Kuzmenko to Calgary. I've already seen people put Lindholm in a Canucks jersey. So, I'm sorry, Ducks minus 1.5. Sorry, I got you. Kings minus 1.5. I apologize.
The thing I like about it is Vancouver and Calgary are already trade partners. Zadorov's already used to playing in that division. Kuzmenko's just got to jump a province over. Like, that's awesome. Just keep it close to each other. Keep it within the division, and it'll be nice because we'll see Lindholm play in Calgary as well too. So, cue the tribute video, but I like the deal. Get it done early. Sure, you got to overpay a little bit, but like we said, you're getting over a month before the trade deadline for this guy. The only people that hate these deals are like the TSN insiders and stuff. They got to sit on that desk all day on trade deadline day when half the moves have been made already. So great move for Vancouver. He's probably gonna slide in that second line center role because you got two lines in Vancouver right now, the 649 line with Pettersson and JT Miller and Besser. But then you got Connor Garland playing with Joshua and Teddy Bluger, and that's been a good line for him too. So you'll probably see maybe Lindholm with like a Mikheyev and maybe a Hoglander or something. Might be a nice little makeshift second line for him, but it's great, man. I like teams going in early, but it's like a pack your shit trade, eh? Like Lindholm packed his bag to leave Calgary for the All-Star game, and it's like, okay, just letting you know you're not coming back here, by the way.
Yeah.
And Kuzmenko too, but he's not going to the All-Star game. He might be on some beach somewhere in Cabo, and somebody probably told him on his phone or just text him and said, hey, listen, man, you might want to check Beard's Twitter, Kuzmenko, you got traded.
This is what Daily Faceoff has currently, just as of a few seconds ago. They have Elias Pettersson moved to the wing, Lindholm as the number one center, Mikheyev as the right wing, Suter, Miller, Bresser as the second line, and then everything basically stays the same. So really, they just have moving Lindholm over to the first line center, which is if this is what goes down, this is incredible that on the 31st of January, Patrick Allvin adds the number one center to his team that, now they'll get all of February, all of March, and the rest of April, which is, 10 weeks of hockey to solidify the chemistry with this team. And I still think they're probably going to add a defenseman too. So going to be real interesting.
By looking at that, Beard, I think you slot in JT Miller and Besser back up to that first line where they've been playing, and then you put the Lindholm and Mikheyev right down to the second line. You switch those two together, the centerman to right on the first two lines. Just roll with that 649 line. I think that's the way they've been doing it anyway. And then leave the blue line alone because they've been playing good this year.
So you're saying JT Miller, Besser, and Better their first line.
They've been playing with each other all year.
Yeah. And then Suter or something. Everything okay?
And Pierce Suter is like a bit of a centerman too. So say if you need to slot him in to take a draw here and there, or if Lindholm gets kicked out of that center circle during a draw, Pierce Suter's more than capable. The only one I'm missing there is on that fourth line. You probably see Höglander there, because I don't see his name in that top nine.
Yeah. Was he banged up or something? They have him on the fourth line on this with Niels Millman and Sam Lafferty. That's what they've got him on here. But Vancouver, from what I've noticed from them, is they're rolling four lines, right? I mean, it feels like they're not like the Leafs that have a fourth line, but give it, 6 minutes instead of like 10 or 11. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, you want your top guys on the ice the most, but I would be interested. Actually, I can just look at their last 10 game stats. It'll tell me what their ice time is. Isn't it? Yeah.
3-1 Kings.
Yeah. Oh, Kings just went up. Okay. Doesn't that help? Doesn't that help ice? So you're a little bit ahead of me. So Byfield's working the puck down below to nice kick. What a pass from Byfield out to okay. Our special guest is here. The one, the only John Viveros from Hot Take Hockey. Thanks, John. Appreciate you popping on.
We're not worthy. You're
traveling for work, all this crazy stuff. And I said yesterday on our show, I love the GMs that get out in front on these trade things. This is a huge move from Patrick Allvin. He was supposed to be on Real Kipper and Born today and mysteriously didn't show. Now we know why.
Yeah.
Give us your thoughts.
So, I mean, if you're talking about the full deal here, and I made a quick reaction video because we really didn't know. I mean, all the top insiders and Rick Dollywall, who's close to the Canucks, was trying to figure it out. But, I mean, when you look at this deal right now, this is a huge get for the Calgary Flames in terms of their whole package. But obviously, this puts the Vancouver Canucks over the top in terms of being a contender. So I mean, guys, correct me if I'm wrong. It's Elias Lindholm to the Canucks. You've got Yanni Yermo, young prospect, 2020 third-round pick. You've got Hunter Bustevich, who's Kitchener Rangers, and I've been able to watch him this year, guys. I'm talking about like one of the most dynamic defensemen in junior hockey right now. The fact that he got snubbed by Team USA in the World Juniors, obviously they didn't need him because they still won. But I mean, this guy's so dynamic. I think he has 69 points in 47 games right now. So the fact that they got him in that deal, he's a right shot defenseman, and he was already a steal for the Canucks in that deal. They got a first-round pick, a fourth-round pick. And Andrei Kuzmenko finally gets out of Vancouver, gets out of the Rick Tocchet situation. And you know what, Kuzmenko, I mean, I think this shows, and Jeremiah, I know we've talked about it before, this shows how impactful a coach can be on a player. Kuzmenko was a guy that was scoring goals left and right for the Canucks, was so successful in that system. And then you go to a more tighter system with Rick Tocchet, and Kuzmenko's not as successful. I mean, he goes from basically a point-per-game guy to half a point-per-game guy. So I think this is perfect for all parties involved here. I mean, I said it in my initial reaction video. I don't know how you can argue that the Canucks, if they put JT Miller at the center spot, which I think in a lot of situations they will, They have the best center depth in hockey. There should be no debate. You have Elias Pettersson, probably a top 7 center in the league right now, easily. You have JT Miller, who can play up the middle. And then Elias Lindholm, I think this year, his points don't do him justice. I think he is, you know what? And I saw, Pearlo, your tweet, maybe not the Selke candidates we see like across the board, but I think in terms of his two-way ability think about this guy against potential third-line matchups. He's going to tear it up. I mean, he was just trying to be on the top line with the Calgary Flames. Now he's going to face third-line matchups with the Vancouver Canucks. So I'm really excited about this deal. I mean, Jeremiah, I will say this. The fact that I swear all these big deals happen when I'm out or like work commitments or whatever. I mean, I see this deal drop and I'm just, man, why can't I just be at home chilling for a night when these deals happen? But I mean, Elias Lindholm to Vancouver is absolutely insane. And I think the conversation needs to happen about why do Vancouver and Calgary want to make all these deals together? They're in the same division. I swear, like, I go back to like Ben Barchi and like all these deals they used to make together. Now they're making a huge blockbuster like that. I mean, that's my tangent for the trade, but I'll say this. Brustevich is a huge get for the Calgary Flames in terms of the rebuild. Right shot defenseman dynamic, as I said. Yermo, I'll wait to see because he's played overseas and I haven't seen him too much. But the fact that they got a first-round pick and Kuzmenko, who I think will get a much better opportunity in Calgary as a primary guy, and, I mean, with the younger coach as well, I mean, I think both teams won big here. I mean, Elias Lindholm was probably going to leave Calgary in free agency. They got a top-end prospect, a first-round pick, and a roster player of a guy that can score 25 goals and put up 60-plus points. If you're a Calgary Flames fan, you are happy. If you're a Vancouver Canucks fan, you are happy. And sure, Chris Tanev wasn't in this trade, but I don't know, guys. I have this sense that another trade might be coming. I think maybe it was a little complicated. Sure, Chris Tanev could go somewhere else, but I think the value in itself, Chris Tanev today could fetch a first-round pick. So the fact that the Calgary Flames got this package just for Lindholm, and they could get another first-round pick for Tanev, this rebuild could happen really fast for the Calgary Flames. And then think about it. Noah Hannafin's still there. Like, they need to figure out if they're going to re-sign Noah Hannafin, or guess what? Alert, they could trade another first-round pick. So they can get 3 first-round picks plus top-end prospects plus Kuzmenko for the trio of 3 and not spend money, because I think if the Calgary Flames could rewind, they would go, let's not re-sign Huberdeau long-term and flip them for assets and have all this cap space for our future guys. So they regret that mistake, and I think they're learning from that now and getting a bunch of assets. I mean, we're seeing crazy things right now, folks.
It's incredible. I was going to say, too, I don't know if you heard, but I've heard through the grapevine, the Hannafin has been offered a $60 million, 8-year, $60 million deal with them, and he's considering taking it, probably thinking that he's not going to find that on the open market right now. By the way, Nashville did just score to make it 3-2, so we have a game, 3:24 left in the third. Thanks for IceX keeping us up to date. I know you can just rest assured, John, when you are on a work remote trip, some shit going on. So I really
to the viewers out there, and big shout out. I was with one of my bosses, so like obviously I'm going to be committed to like being out and being kind of present that. But I mean, I'm going to the washroom, taking a quick peek at my phone, and I'm seeing like Darren Dreger say confirmed to Lindholm the Canucks, and I'm like, holy shit! So I just head outside, just ripping a quick 3-minute reaction. But it's just like that's how it goes sometimes, man. It's the name of the game.
Yeah, I was gonna I thought I posted that in the chat. Instead I put in but check out John's video. I always leave a comment if I can or like it. I put the link in the chat. He's doing other jobs and still keeping the Hot Take Hockey brand alive. If you can see just right over my head, there's the Hot Take Hockey podcast, which I'm sure you're coming back.
Believe me, I'm in a hotel right now. So
yeah, no, I so appreciate you coming on, John, and just giving us your thoughts. This guy does hits for CTV. He's an absolute legend. He's working for the Brantford Bulldogs and doing other things. Really appreciate John. If you don't know who Hot Take Hockey is, you obviously
man, you pump my tires too much. I don't know if I deserve it.
Yeah, you do deserve it, man. You're an awesome guy. You're an even better person. And I'll never forget the night we together could have met Morgan Riley at the same time. But what a crazy fun time.
story on here.
Huh?
I said, I don't know if we've ever told that story on here.
We
ditched us.
We could tell. Yeah. So Rico had to go home. We could tell it. We could tell it. And John was leaving to catch a train, and I'm like, cool. He was gonna maybe stay with me, but it was like, okay, we had to figure it out. He was kind of hemming and hawing, and he left, and he comes back to the table. I'm talking to this couple. They were cool people, and John comes back, and I go, "What's up?" And he goes, "Something happened. I'll have to tell you." And I was like, I thought maybe somebody started some shit with him or something, and then like I look, he's got a picture with Morgan Riley, and then so that was really cool. I kind of found out after the fact, and then I go back to my hotel, and there's Morgan Riley talking with his family. So I was like, "Oh, hey, Morgan Riley." I didn't go bother him though.
The best was just meeting you all at the game, man. Just meeting you for the first time. All of a sudden, we're sitting there a few rows up watching the game. Next thing you know, we're just walking down the street like three dudes, just laughing our ass off. Beard's just telling us old war stories about being in the army. He's got being hot taking stitches, just laughing at. We end up at some little dive bar that Beard's been drinking at for like 3 days. It's like right across from his hotel.
I don't think it's a dive bar.
Center's like.
It wasn't a dive bar.
It was
I'm gonna take exception to calling it a dive bar,
bro.
No, okay.
Pearlo, you gotta come see the dynamic between these two, because I'm telling you, Jeremiah says the most hilarious shit, and Rico's side comments just make it even better.
Dude, we were laughing our ass off, man. Like right beside the Scotiabank. Beard's wife put him up in like the best hotel in Toronto. Then it's like midnight, and these guys are doing shots, And I'm like, I gotta drive home. I gotta work in the morning. So I just took it easy on the sauce there. But it was like, I remember it was like 12:05, and I'm like right downtown Toronto, and I'm like 2 hours away from home. I'm like, see ya, fellas.
So I don't know if Jeremiah told you. So yeah, I was heading out, and I was like, oh, I gotta hit the pisser. Like I gotta hit the washroom. And I'm going to the washroom, and I hear to my left ear, I'm like, hearing, do you know where the washroom is? I turn to my left, full suit Morgan Riley asking the bartender where the washroom is. So I'm walking in the washroom with Morgan Riley. This guy hits the first urinal. I don't want to be a creep and hit the only urinal next to him. So I hit the stall, and there's like 10 quiet seconds of just us hitting the pisser. I'm in the stall. He's at the urinal. And then 10 seconds later, he's like, so you enjoy the game tonight? And while this is happening, I'm wearing a full Morgan Riley jersey, Morgan Riley hat, and Riley's just shooting the shit to me while we're both pissing like a racehorse.
It's hilarious.
Dude, and you know what makes it special, John? There's a loss in this whole thing too that's kind of a bummer for me, and I'll say it first, is that two of my best friends live in Ontario now. Like, between you and Rico, it's like, it sucks. We need to do this more than once a year, that's for sure. But it's just so special to me because that was the first time you and I got to meet in person after knowing each other for 3 years. And so a lot of the chat doesn't know, just super cool. I hope I lived up to the expectation of being a good guy.
Beauty guy.
And just, dude, you can always reach out to me, man. I consider you one of my good friends. Rico, the same. Perlo, obviously, as well. He just happens to live in Edmonton in this scenario, which we're doing Edmonton. We've already talked about. I want to do the outdoor rink thing in Jasper. So maybe hot take, we could plan something for this next year. I think it's around this time. So King scored again 4-2 on an empty net. That looks like that's going to be the game. So I'll give Hot Take Hockey a breather here as he's doing something.
Yeah, I didn't mean a dive bar. It was a sports bar, but it was just dark and at night and 12 o'clock, and it was just like, not a shit ton of people there left. People probably drinking before and after the hockey game, and dispersed from then. It just, it was awesome, man.
Yeah, no, I had an unbelievable time, and it's always going to be really hold special. I told my wife the only thing that would have made it cooler is if she had gotten to be there, because you guys would have loved her equally. I mean, I have an incredible wife, so I appreciate her so much. But we are going to do that Hall of Fame thing again, and we're going to a couple of games. And John, you're going to bring out your Cigo. And Rico, you can bring out your Cigo, and we'll go have a dinner too. I want to have a nice dinner sit down.
Maybe Beard, maybe if we got our wives and girlfriends with us, you won't get fights picked by guys in a wheelchair at Jackasters.
You know what, though? I don't feel – I'll just say this. We weren't out doing stupid shit or anything. That's not really my MO. I was never that way in the Army. In fact, the guys who went looking for fights were guys that I didn't want anything to do with. So, and you guys were perfect gentlemen. I'm not the type of guy looking for fights. I definitely could have ended a few in my day. I'll just say that. And that wasn't when I weighed 225 pounds. So I still know how to fight. I just that guy had a mental health thing or something. And I think I handled that situation as best we could. We were eating tacos. What? We weren't starving any shit. I asked you guys did I cut this guy off or something? I don't even remember it happening. So but yeah, no, it was an amazing, amazing time. So, John, I know you're working and wherever you are, you don't have to say. I appreciate you hanging out.
I mean, I can say if you want.
Yeah, please hang out as long as you want. We're going to kind of end the official show, but we're going to stay on for what I call OT and just us bullshitting. We talked about it yesterday, and it's really fun for us to just kind of talk hockey and stuff. I'm going to play the outro just as a break. But hang out. We're not going anywhere. We're just going to talk and BS about the remaining game.
Are we live?
What? We'll still be live.
Okay, I was going to say, if you – I mean, totally up to you. It's your show. I was going to say, if you want to, maybe try to bring in the Calgary Flames Canucks diehards, maybe put, Elias Lindholm edition, and then every time people are searching up Elias Lindholm NHL, they're like, oh, Sports Beard show.
Okay.
You'll
have to show, yeah, you'll have. I did put it in the thing, the trade, but as
the description, it should be fine.
Yeah, so I appreciate you, man, selling it. So I'll just play the outro, but we're not disconnecting from live. Hang out, everybody in the chat. We're gonna go. I may open the door because my dogs have been little buttheads and they're mad, but just real quick, 20-second outro. Okay, we're back, and thanks for everybody that hung out. We're just going to BS and talk games. Kings look relieved they've won a game here. Nashville's another team. Are they going to trade UC Saros? I've heard rumors that UC maybe they have Askarov. They could trade him, and he's not played really well this year if you look at his underlying numbers. He's not been great. So Trotz, man, did he get? I believe he brought Mitch Korn back with him. So I think Mitch Korn, who I think is one of the best goalie coaches. I don't know. Have you heard that in your rumblings, Hot Take Hockey? Any UC? I know the Leafs are always trying to be linking those fans, link themselves to every. But have you heard any of those Saros rumors?
Not specifically about the Leafs lately. I think that's not their priority. But yeah, there was a couple teams out there that I thought would make sense. But I mean, it's weird because this year there's been some teams. So in the offseason, I actually thought Pittsburgh could be a candidate if they let Jari go. Obviously, that's not the case anymore, and they're not even in a play spot. So that's irrelevant. I think similar thing with. I wondered with Washington, but Lindgren's obviously been a good story. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, the fit is just odd. I think there's so many goalies available. I feel like LA on paper could use a goalie, but on paper, Cam Talbot and Riddick have had good numbers. So it's kind of weird that way, right? I think there's a couple teams that could use a goalie, but then at the same time, that's just more so us speaking on paper. The Kings, do they have a big quality goalie for the next 5 years? No. But right now, it's not really their issue. Their issue is their personnel up front and their identity. And they're just, they've lost all confidence there. So, yeah, I don't know. I've heard a little bit of rumblings, but I've also heard this. I'll say this. I heard that Barry Trotz absolutely loves UC Saros and that it would have to take a monster deal to trade him. So I'll leave it at that. I think similar to this, I think the Calgary Flames loved Elias Lindholm, and he was a rental. Look what this required, guys. Vancouver Canucks fans deservedly should be happy here, but so should fans. This was a massive return.
Yeah, I would love to hear from our old friend Bacon. I haven't heard from him in a while. I don't know if you've seen him in your stream, and I've been actually vocalizing Bacon come out because he was that Flames fan I always wanted to hear from because I felt like he had his finger on the pulse of that team pretty well, just being a diehard fan. And I know he was a loyal listener of your show. So Bacon, hopefully you hear this and come back to our shows and say hi and tell us what you think about the Flames. Because I reached out to Canuck Clay tonight too, John, because I love to have him, and he said he would love to come on. He was at church, so he was really upset that the trade went down. So don't feel bad that you are in always a sticky situation, doing some work, doing some stuff. Hey, real quick, just since we're BSing hockey, and I saw you give away a grill on the internet and stuff, like just doing all kinds of fancy stuff for the Bulldogs. How's that season going?
Can you hear me and Stevie?
Yeah, I can hear you, but we lost folk visual. No, you're back. You're back now. No worries.
Yeah, no, that's that's going well. Yeah, I'll give you the quick spiel, right? Just without giving up too much personal info. But so basically, I work in the broadcast world, kind of just across North America, but specifically, I'm in Dallas right now. And so that's my full-time gig, and I do hosting for the OHL, specifically with the Bulldogs right now. That's going really well. I mean, we're top 2 in the conference. I got to say, just watching some of these guys live, like not even just on the Bulldogs. I mean, the teams, like that's why I'm saying, like the Kitchener Rangers, like being able to see some of those guys, and now it's relevant to talk about this trade. They've had a good season. The London Knights have obviously had a really good season, been able to watch those guys. But yeah, specifically with the Bulldogs, I mean, I can specifically see them every game, and I see guys like Florian Jackeye, like Arbor Jackie's younger brothers on the Bulldogs. And I mean, Habs fans, you've got like a shit disturber there. Nick Lardis, who was a 3rd-round pick for the Chicago Blackhawks. He's going to be an absolute star. That was a steal for the Hawks. I mean, I'm so excited in the future to see that guy play next to Bedard. So, I mean, the role is so much fun, Jeremiah, like being on the mic, being able to show my passion. Like, obviously I get people fired up, but like live is just so different. Like being on the ice with the mic in front of like 4,000 fans, just getting people fired up. Obviously it's not the NHL, but I mean, still 4,000 live fans and being on the mic, being on the Jumbotron, it's a lot of fun. So I'm very grateful for the opportunities I've been given.
You know that I believe that you will be in the booth someday. I think you're incredible at this. I think you have kind of developed your own thing too. I mean, you're one of the first people I've seen do what you do on YouTube, especially when we're all at pandemic and couldn't go to the games anyway. See, you found this community of people that like to talk hockey. It's how I know Pearlo. It's how I met Rico. And obviously it's how I met you, John Duncan, Kim was on. We had our biggest show last week. Kim was on last Monday, I think. And she came on. I wouldn't know her if it wasn't for you. That was fun. She was trash talking Biz pretty good too, man. Like she was letting him have it. No, dude, is that we're getting some Pearlo, is that you? I think that's you. We're getting some talking from the background there, Pearlo. No worries, you can just mute yourself when you're ready to talk, because we're just BS it now. We're not talking about anything specific. KQ keeps asking Sam how. Oh no, I'm sorry. Isaac says he needs Ducks -1.5. Any bets you guys got laid, or that's John? I was going to say before we go down that bet road. I think it's I'm so proud of where you are and where you're going. I can see you in the booth for ESPN, TSN, Sportsnet one of these years. I hope it happens. And I can be like, I knew that guy back in the day when all he was doing was YouTube stuff. And be being honest about it. It'll be so cool. And we're rooting for you, man. Just don't forget about us little guys. We'll definitely be big fans of you. I DM from time to time Jack Michaels, who does the Edmonton Oilers games, because he used to do the Alaska Aces games, and I still say, hey, we still love you here in Alaska. Like, I love that guy, and he's always really appreciative. So I should, yeah. But I want to grow in this hockey world with you too, because man, in relative age, we're not close, but I'm just getting started in a new career in this stuff too. And so I'm legit getting credentialed and doing media stuff and writing and doing this. So I'm really trying to get into it, and I'm dragging Rico and Pearlo along with me with their gambling aficionado stuff. So like, I'll let you talk now. Sorry.
No. I was just gonna say, like, I think it's a good balance. Like, I mean, I've just been super busy, but I mean, I'll say this: it's not like I'm like, if I'm not on this show, it's not like I'm somewhere else. To be honest, like I actually genuinely like listening to you guys. Sometimes my girlfriend and I are just kind of chilling, and we have you guys in the background. So, yeah, no, honestly, like I respect the hell out of you, man, and I think you guys are super down to earth, and I mean that's why I'm on this show. I mean, I like not to like, I'm not even saying this to pump my own tires, but like there's other shows I get invited on here and there, and like not to spite them. And I mean, like I said, I'm just busy. So if anything, I just appreciate you. And yeah, I mean, I'll leave it at that. But yeah, no, like honestly, it's life's busy, but I mean, I know a lot of people are busy, so it's just kind of how it goes. But I mean, it's not like it's something that I've been forced on. I mean, these opportunities, like I've chosen to take these opportunities and work hard for them. So it's just me kind of running with it. And I was actually talking to my boss tonight just about like, he was asking me how YouTube's going. And like, I mean, frig, man, like I used to like stream like 6, 7, 8 hours a day, every day. And I mean, it's just life. So I'm still trying to keep up with the channel. And I think I still keep up with hockey and sports in general. And yeah, obviously, I think where the value really comes in is just like having like great people to like shoot the shit with. Like, obviously, like I want to be professional. I want to have that aspect, but like, I think genuine people sometimes come in short supply. I'll leave it at that. And I think you guys are genuine people.
I appreciate that so much. I was going to say too, man, like I always wanted a group of friends that I could just talk hockey with that felt passionate about it as much as I did. And I wanted that my whole life, and now I have it. And I feel like it's pretty damn cool. That's all I'll say. And I've met a lot of great people through this channel, and I'll let Rico and Pearlo talk a little bit.
No, buddy, I'm just listening to you guys. We'll head over to Pearlo's there. We'll hit the piano. We'll have a couple of pops together.
Yeah.
Hang out with him on these nights. Yep. Beard takes Edmonton. Do a little YouTube video.
Yeah. I definitely want to go to Edmonton. I've heard their arena is super nice. I'm assuming the tickets are probably not as bad. And we got to see McDusty play in person. I saw him skate at the All-Star game, but I think he was hungover. So,
David hungover probably ain't able to play hockey. He just seems like one of those guys where you would.
No, he just looks like a normal player.
If he's not a normal player,
yeah, he just looks like a regular old Joe.
Yeah, I think some guys can blend in playing.
I wanted to bring this up,
but I don't think he.
The trade thing went crazy. The NHL had that anonymous player poll. Did you guys want to talk about that a little bit?
That was pretty cool, actually. I heard that from Sirius Radio. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So they pulled players and they asked who the best player in the league is.
Sammy McKee and JT.
Yeah, Sammy talked about it on Kipper and Bourne today too. Yeah, for sure. So this is on The Athletic. If you don't have a link to it, I'll post pictures up on my Twitter if you guys ask for it. If you ask for it, but who the players? This is the players voting anonymously. I think some of them pay attention, some of them don't. Number one player was 69% was Connor McDavid. That doesn't surprise me. The second player, Nathan McKinnon, that makes 16%. The third player, who do you think the third player was? Perlo, did you
I know you know, but I'd say Kucherov. No, I don't know actually.
Must be Kevin Hayes.
It's not Kevin Hayes. Hey, John, do you know? We lost you visually, John, but we can still see you or hear you if you're there.
Was it Kuch?
Kachuk. Maybe Kachuk?
I don't know. Matthews?
No. So Matthews wasn't in the top 5. I thought that was kind of surprising. It's Nikita Kucherov. Rico was right. I didn't want to blow it, but it was Kucherov.
No,
Number 4 was Crosby. 5 was Cale Makar. 6, surprisingly, was Kirill Kaprizov. And then Matthews, then Barkov, Forsberg, and Artemi Panarin. Those Rangers fans. Anyway, so that was the best players in the league. as per the anonymous player pool. Who is the best goalie in the league? This one I kind of was surprised with just based on the season he's having. But, John, do you know?
You said best coach?
No, best goalie.
Oh, best goalie. Shesterkin?
It's
Sorokin?
either him or Sorokin.
No. Yeah, I don't think
it's Vasilevsky for sure.
Yeah, Pearlo is right. It's Andre Vasilevsky. Number 2 is Connor Hellebuck. 3 was Demko. 4 was Sorokin, and 5 was Shesterkin.
Sorokin at 4 is a snub.
You're talking about players, so they only know what they've done.
Well, and Sorokin hasn't had a great year this year. He's but yeah, I think Pearlo, a lot of these guys don't say. They Other made so Swayman was 6, Other made 7. UC Soros, Marc-Andre Fleury in the top 10 blows. Linus Ullmark, Jordan Binnington, Jake Ottinger, Aiden Hill. Anyway, that rounds off
So these are players that they say they when they go in on this goalie, they have a hard time scoring on them. It's not just about the team defense and stuff that Yonder plays, and maybe Sorokin was sheltered a little bit there. Maybe just this strength of goaltender when they think that they could either score on him or not. Maybe people think that they could score on Sorokin a little easier than Hellebuck when it comes to a one-on-one. Maybe.
I don't even think they think that deeply. They just think of the guy that's it. Players generally
I don't know.
think that.
If I'm a hockey player, I'm thinking what goalie's going to give me the biggest problem. I'll be like, okay, I fucking hate that goalie. So
Swiss effing cheese Turkin Isaacs. Turkin.
Cheese Turkin.
Isaacs in the chat. Yeah, so I think Vasilevsky not a top goalie this year, but still he's top 5. Now that's so good. Oh, love you guys, man. For me, who is the most underrated player in the NHL? This one is 22% won Other. Who do you think they voted? This is the players again. This is an anonymous players poll.
This is a reason why I think that players don't pay attention much, because I'm sure they're still saying Barkov. I'm sure they're still saying that.
Pearlo hit he nailed it. It's Barkov. So number 2 is Sam Reinhart.
Yeah.
And really technically Barkov is number 2 because Other is 22%. So they a bunch of players. I just think a lot. So Barkov, probably because when they play against them though, because like hearing Kachuk talk about him and stuff. So Isaac says DeBrusk is underrated. Really? I kind of think the opposite.
Barkov was the most underrated like 4 years ago.
Yeah, well, he's I mean, if he's getting 90 points, where's the captain? He makes $9 million, $10 million a year. Is he underrated, right? So,
exactly. I don't see how that's underrated.
Yeah, so they have it's Barkov, Reinhart, Braden Point. I do think Braden Point doesn't get enough love.
Yeah,
Kyle Connor could be the top of this list every year too. No one ever. Eriksson Ek. Zach Hyman. Zach Hyman pretty underrated too.
Ek is my guy.
Rupe Hentz or Sebastian Aho and Rupe Hentz, and then Ryan Nugent Hopkins, William Karlsson, Vinny Trocheck, Pavel Zacha, Nikita Kucherov, Mika Zibanejad. It goes on for a long ways. There's some notable names on there. I like Konechny, Kaprizov on the list. Okay. Dylan Larkin, Carter Verhaeghe, Brock Nelson, Brandon Hagel, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the most overrated player in the league? And again, Other won this. Other at 20, but in second. Hot take. Do you know who it is?
Oh, I don't know who I think it is, but
the hot streak.
What?
I said let Pearlo continue the hot streak of being right.
Okay, go ahead.
I would say Huberdeau or Zegras, one of the two.
It's Zegras. Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Huberdeau doesn't make the list. Huberdeau's not on the list, I don't
Huberdeau's not on the list? Really?
Nope, he didn't make the list.
Wow.
Well, again, Other won. So it's like, no, John, he did make the list. I'm sorry. It's Other is one at 26%. Zegras is injured this year. So like, I don't know why people are shitting. This guy's played like 7 games this year and he's going to be out the rest of the year. So I don't think he's overrated or anything. He's just not playing. Darnell Nurse. I like Matthew Tkachuk on this list is odd to me. I think that's just people that don't like him.
That's
Darnell Nurse is just making too much money. He's not overrated.
Matthew Tkachuk was on the list. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Jason Robertson and Jonathan Huberdeau, and then Ovi. But I mean, Ovi's just having an off season, so
Overrated.
I don't know that he's overrated at 38. I think too, like everybody's like, oh, Crosby's 2 years younger than Ovechkin, and you got to remember Crosby missed a lot of games when he was having spinal neck shit. I don't think it was. They found it wasn't concussion related, but so anyway, that was interesting. Who is the player in the league whose face you most want to punch? This is the anonymous player vote. So, Hot Take, you got to answer this one. Tell me who's the guy you want to punch more than anybody in the NHL. And he's not on your team. He's not a Toronto Maple Leaf. So it's not Revo or any of that stuff.
I'm going to say 2 of the top 5 would be on the Cats, Nick Cousins and Sam Bennett.
Nick Cousins is number 1, runs away.
I was thinking that.
Sam Bennett is not on the
Nick Cousins?
Wow. Yeah, Nick Cousins, that makes sense to me. So Nick Cousins is number 1. Other is number 2. Brad Marsh. Go ahead, Hot Take. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'd lose my mind on that guy. Like I wouldn't say that about too many players, but if I saw that guy, I think I'd lose my shit.
Really?
Yeah, he's not liked. He's definitely up there as one of the biggest. He's over. Like nobody says anything bad about Tom Wilson anymore because of Nick Cousins. Basically,
yeah, honestly, I've always said Tom Wilson's a pest, but like at least Tom Wilson has some like self-respect. This freaking Nick Cousins guy, there's no chance Tom Wilson would turtle the way Nick Cousins does.
Yeah, Tom Wilson fights. He's definitely not running from a fight, right? Andrew Ford says Liam O'Brien. Liam O'Brien's a dirty motherfucker too, man. And he's a scrapper. He was with the Caps back in the day. But sorry for swearing for those of you that are not on the swear, but we're not filtered. This podcast goes up as explicit because usually one of us drops an F-bomb. I don't want to remember.
I thought it would be Kane from Edmonton or something like that. Like Marchand maybe.
There.
Yeah, he's on the list. Kane's on the list. Marchand's number 3 behind other.
Oh, okay.
So it's Nick Cousins and Marchand, then Matthew Tkachuk, then Michael Bunting, your old pal in crime, Michael Bunting. By the way, Michael Bunting was the Chicklets guest today. But you could tell the interview was from early in the season. Garnett Hathaway, which I love old Garney. Tom Wilson's not even on this list, which I was surprised. Brady Tkachuk, Ryan Lomberg, Nazem Kadri, Kevin Fiala, Jeff Skinner, Trevor Zegras, Rasmus Anderson, Radko Gudas, Nikita Zadorov, Evander Kane, and David Perron. So no Tom Wilson even on the list of the fans. So
good for
probably
him.
because nobody went. Who is the best ref in the game? I wasn't surprised.
I'm sure the players voted Wes McCauley.
It was Wes McCauley, 53%. Number 2, Kelly Sunderland, and then Justin St. Pierre. But this is what's funny. The next one, who is the worst ref?
Dan O'Halloran.
Nope, Dan O'Halloran is not even in the top 5.
I don't know refs, so I can't even chime in.
So Justin St. Pierre wins it, running away. But I love Wes McCauley is 3rd. So he gets voted the best and the worst.
And the worst.
I think Kipper said today that's Leaf fans going out of their way. It's not Leaf fans, but like it's players. But Leaf, that entire Maple Leafs team voted Wes McCauley worst fucking ref. The worst ref is the one that rejects bribes. Oh, Isaacs must know from experience. Let's not get that started. We haven't had enough negative press. So this one I agree with, and this one wins every time for me. The players, what's the best jersey in the league aside from your own teams? So they've got players. Who do you think won this one? Obviously, it's original.
It's got to be original 6. I think I caught this one at the end of the show, so I'll let these two go first.
Yeah, go ahead. Rico, for our Pearlo, go ahead.
Well, you already told me it's original 6. I don't think I would have took the original 6. Boston Bruins? If it's
It's not Boston. I was going to ask hot take, but we lost him. If he comes back on, we'll talk to him about it. The Chicago.
I agree. Them as the best
Blackhawks.
logo. They've always had the nicest logo.
Yeah, It's not Toronto. I love the Leafs New Jerseys, though. I think their New Jerseys are so nice. The blue and white, like anytime you can pull off like two colors.
Pearlo, Rich H is in the chat.
Hey, Rich H.
in the chat?
Pearlo, wow. Rich H from the Ice Guys is in the chat.
Wow.
Nice. I was wearing my Ice Guys shirt yesterday. Oh, I did get an Ice Guys hoodie, too.
Dude, Rich H is a beauty, man. He's an awesome capper for the Ice Guys.
Yeah, Rich is awesome.
Glad to have you, Rich. Appreciate you. We're just BSing now. This is just after hours. We talked about the Zadorov trade. We had John Viveros from Hot Take Hockey, also from the Brantford Bulldogs. What a great dude. He'll always be like a little brother to me, man. And I got my other brother over there in Ontario, Rico. I'm coming from Alaska. It was nice -8 all day. It's like -4 right now, Fahrenheit. So you guys do the conversions there. How's the weather there in Edmonton, my good friend Steve Duncan? Pearlo Wisdom. If you're not going to PPAL Picks and checking out his stuff,
the weather's good. We're right around 0. So
okay,
like 0. It's pretty good. It's actually pretty nice. Yeah, not much snow. How's it going with you, Rico, there in Barrie?
Dude, it's good, man. It's going to be +3 here tomorrow, but I just know that I'm leaving for Puerto Vallarta, Mexico in 2 weeks, and then I'm going to be gone for about 10 days. But then what happens is, and it's the same thing as last year, as soon as I'm gone, snow just dumps all over my place, and then we've got a house cleaner comes and feeds our cat. So I just basically hired a guy off Kijiji again to do my driveway. It's like $40, just e-transfer me. I'll show you a picture of the driveway when I'm done, type thing. And like, hey, perfect. The salt's on the porch.
Nice. Yeah, I had Hot Take. Go ahead and click that link if you need me to send it back to you. I will. Appreciate you coming back. He's coming back on. He's saying so. Dude. We got 14 inches of snow here in the last couple of days. I know I said that earlier for those of you who weren't on earlier in the week with us. I've been spending a lot of time this winter moving snow, man. We've gotten over 100 inches.
So I got a question for you. I got a question for you because I was looking at it today. Who wins the Selke this year?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
I was looking at it and I have like my idea, but I mean, there's a lot of players out there that could win the Selke.
I heard Lindholm, Pearlo.
That's when you say, touche, sir. Touche.
That's funny stuff.
If you don't know, this is an inside joke.
Lindholm should never even come close to winning Selke.
And Beard was saying he's been a finalist 4 times.
I know.
Yeah.
Shouldn't even come close once. Shouldn't even come close.
I know. It's a good thing you don't vote on the Selke, though, because you're oblivious.
It's a good thing.
Hey,
what do I know?
Well, you know what I was going to say, though? Real quick, not to just beat up on you, Pearlo, because I like that you have a different opinion than most. I'll tell you, I really think it could win the Selke at some point in his career. Shane Pinto. That guy is so good. I was so impressed with him. I hadn't really seen him play, so I've kind of watched for him since he's been back from suspension. And I am so impressed. I'm telling you two guys, we didn't talk about it that much, but that Northeastern Boston University game, I wanted to watch that because, as you know, the projected #1 overall plays for Boston University and slacking for Macklin Celebrini. I mean, I came away with that guy's good, but like that defensive forward for center for Northeastern, which ended up winning, that dude, and he's not signed. Like, get on the horn. Colby Cohen was an NHLer, played with the Bruins and several teams, was a black ace for the 2011 Stanley Cup champions, won a national championship with Boston University in 2009. Colby was saying to me, I asked him this morning on his show, Morning Cup of Hockey, that kid reminds him of Ryan O'Reilly. Like, GMs, get on it. Get on this guy, sign him. Like, you get yourself another a Ryan O'Reilly that wasn't drafted. Like, man, if I was Brian McClellan, I'd be talking to this kid, hey, what do you want? $1.5 million, 3-year deal? Come on board.
That good. Eh? Wow.
I mean, I was in like Pearlo. I was watching this college game. I was like, this kid stands out. Boston University, way more talented than Northeastern. Northeastern wasn't even ranked. Boston University is the 3rd ranked team in the nation here in the U.S. So, again, if you ever get a chance to watch a little, especially that Big East hockey, the Bean Pop tournament talks, Doug Armstrong, get on the phone and sign that kid, Darkness says. Yeah, like,
wow,
super crazy.
I honestly don't know who he is, but if you have those people saying like that, like, wow.
Yeah, he's from Quebec, which, doesn't surprise me. And he played in the USHL for Sioux City, which they're really good. They've won. I know I had a friend up here who played on Sioux City with Carey Price. They won a national championship back, that long ago. And Tim York's in too, man. We got Tim popping in too. Tim, good to see you, man. We're just BSing now. We started really early. We started at 5 p.m. my time, 7 Pearlo's, and 9 o'clock Rico's time. So we're just BSing now. Please leave a like, subscribe, tell your friends. We're talking hockey. If you guys want to come on and talk about this thing, I'll drop the link and any one of you can come in. We're expecting Hot Take Hockey to come back. John Viveros came on. Check out Hot Take Hockey. He's got I think he's close to 60,000 subscribers. And he's supposed to be coming back on with us. But I dropped the link if anybody wants to come on, and we'll get Rico back here. So
going back to the Selke, I think it's likely Barkov, but I mean, there's a lot of good players there that could do that. Stone and Vegas and but I think it's likely Barkov for the Selke.
Let's get Rico back on. Favorite road city to play in for their players. Top 5.
Oh, that's easy.
What do you guys think?
Vegas, Miami, Chicago.
I know he said it right off the bat. Vegas for sure.
Vegas is number 1. Vegas is number 1, 25.1%.
Yeah.
New York is 2. Montreal is 3.
Wow.
That can't have anything to do with Tim put Montreal. That can't have anything to do with Montreal's nightlife. I've heard that. I've heard some stories.
Yeah,
Nashville 4. Nashville 4.
Wow.
Vancouver 5. None of these are a surprise to me. Sunrise, which that's where that's Fort Lauderdale, Fort Lickerdale. That's where the Florida
Vancouver
Panthers.
Surprises me a bit.
What? No, I've heard Vancouver's liked for specific reasons.
Really?
Yes. Wow. I believe it has something to do with the gentleman's club that's there. That's very world renowned. Anyway. Yeah. LA, I'm actually surprised LA isn't higher, but LA is sketch and spots. So Tampa up there, Dallas, and then Chicago, Boston, Toronto, Raleigh, Tempe, Phoenix kind of ends the thing. But I've heard Arizona, like where they're playing now, they're really close to like Old Town and stuff. So, boy, I did find it funny today, guys. They were talking a lot about Atlanta expansion. Like the NHL is doing everything they can to just get people to talk about something other than this investigation. Least favorite road city. It isn't even close. I'm only giving you guys one guess. It is so easy. We all know this town. And I'm going to say, Pearlo, it's not Edmonton. Okay.
Winnipeg. It's got to be Winnipeg.
What do you think? Worst city, hot take hockey, the players,
It's got to
city
be
they
Winnipeg.
hate.
Worst city to like play in or play against?
Yeah, they hate the city going to visit us. Favorite road city.
It's got to be Winnipeg.
Let's think. I mean, it's probably like maybe Calgary.
Yeah, so it's not Calgary. Rico, do you know it?
Worst city for an NHL road team to go into?
Or least favorite road city is how they put it.
Wait,
this
but,
is
like,
the
what's
Athletics.
But the thing that I'm wondering is like
You
worst
got to
doesn't
say
like
the Jets.
they're dreading to go play like in that city, or they're dreading the fan base.
I think it was like they just don't enjoy going to the city because there's not much to do.
Actually, yeah, you know what? If
Yeah,
it's not
it's gotta
Calgary,
be.
it's definitely
It's gotta
Winnipeg.
It's
Winnipeg.
Winnipeg wins it, run away. Yeah. Pearlo and Rico both get it's Winnipeg. Ottawa is second, and I think the reason Ottawa is bad is because they're out there in Canada and not in downtown Ottawa. Because if they were in downtown Ottawa, that would be.
It was a nightmare getting out of there. I was there last Thursday against the Bruins, and it's a nightmare getting out of there every
Well,
single
I was more
time.
so. I wasn't saying Calgary because of the city itself. I was just saying because the barn. The barn's so old and like there's no like renos, and it's like it's not a nice arena anymore.
And they're sixth, so they ain't far off. So it goes Winnipeg, Ottawa, Buffalo, Raleigh, and then Tempe, Phoenix, and then Calgary. And Tempe, Phoenix is not because of the area around; it's because of the rink. Because they're playing in that. So, by the way, I don't know. Hot take. Have you heard? I heard Frank Seravalli report this on his show on Daily Faceoff that the NHL had a deadline for the Arizona Coyotes owner, and that deadline was today to have a shovel in the ground stadium deal in place. We could be on the brink of seeing the Arizona Coyotes move to Salt Lake City. What are you?
I have to be kind of hush hush, but I might know some things on that.
Yeah, the state of Georgia is getting another team.
It's happening, man. It's happening. I think the Arizona Coyotes are moving to Utah. If Arizona gets another team, which I know Bettman wants, they'll do an expansion. And I think Atlanta is going to get a team. And everybody goes, oh, it's not going to work in Atlanta. Look, I'm telling you right now, the NHL is trying to burgeon their relationship with Turner. And Turner is based out of Atlanta. So, you know.
All right, so I'll say this.
Atlanta will get a team, and I'll make another prediction. Arizona will get another team again eventually, too.
Yeah, so I was going to say, I think if Gary Bettman is still the commissioner, I agree with you, Pearlo. I think if Gary Bettman's still the commissioner of the NHL by 2030, I think by 2030 we will see Utah, we will see Atlanta, and we'll see Arizona back in the NHL if they get the boot.
Yeah, I'm with you right there. It's so frustrating that Arizona has. I don't know why the voters were so ill-informed. I read through that whole thing. They were taking an old garbage dump and cleaning it, and it wasn't costing taxpayers any money. It was going to be like a local sales tax thing. It would have been paid for, like just with the number of tourists and stuff they get in that area, especially because like spring training and baseball and shit, people go down there. Arizona, half of Alaska moves to Arizona in the wintertime. I'm just telling you, like,
I was also going to say, like, if you look at Arizona's like TV deal, like, I mean, that's the other thing that Frank Seravalli outlined is like, it's just so frustrating being a hockey fan and seeing, I mean, even being like a broadcast guy, like just seeing some of these like sports broadcast right deals are so frustrating. So many fans are just sick of like these blackouts and lack of coverage, lack of access to NHL games. Like, look at the NBA, like international coverage, like all these things that are growing the sport. The NHL's far behind. And I mean, Jeremiah, like, I don't think Gary Bettman's NHL will let the NHL go 10 years by, go a decade by without Arizona getting NHL hockey. So if they leave, they'll bring it back. But yeah, I mean, there's just so many issues in that aspect. I don't want to crap on our great game in terms of the league, but those are a couple things that are probably like the most frustrating for fans, right?
Well, let me say this though, real quick. Arizona did fix their deal, so they were wrapped up in the Bally thing, but they were so bankrupt.
No, I know they have.
But they are now broadcast on the local ABC channel, so there are no blackouts for locals there, which is a good thing because there's only 2,500 seats in their fucking arena. I mean, 4,000.
Well, I wasn't referencing Arizona when I made that comment. I was referencing like basically 90% of the rest of the league.
Hot take hockey. I can't watch the Seattle Kraken without special equipment because because they're blackout for me here in Alaska. It's same for people that live in fucking Montana. If you like, that's a joke. If you have to drive 8 hours to see a game, you probably ain't fucking seeing the game.
Yeah,
So why are you blacking it out? All you're doing is hurting your fan base. If you buy the ESPN package, the other thing is I can't watch NHL Network games with the ESPN Plus package. That's bullshit. You have a partnership with ESPN or Turner. Make it available on Max or make it available on Hulu or make it, you know what I'm saying? Like, allow me to pay $3 extra a month for the NHL Network. I'll pay for it. I love the sport. I'll give you my money. Like, it's so, and then all you're doing with these blackouts, like Colorado's thing is the worst, John. Like, Altitude Sports Network, that thing for local Denver is like awful. Like, so, we have Andrew Ford coming on, noted Canes fan. Hey, Andrew. How's it going? Nice to put a face to the name, Andrew. Thanks for popping in. What do you want to talk about?
I don't really know.
Okay.
How you feeling about the trade, Andrew? Do you like it on Calgary's end?
Yes. I wish they got a little bit more in return, but not.
Oh, I thought they got a really nice haul, like Hot Take was saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what do you want your Canes to do, man? You see them making any moves? You were typing a lot in the chat, so
I was thinking about it really hard. I don't really see them making anything.
you don't think you should get anything? No trade?
Yeah.
Just stay as is?
Stay as is.
Keep it as is. That Freddie Anderson back skating. Are you excited to see him?
Yes.
Yeah. You want to see Freddie back in between the pipes?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. All right. Anything else?
Well, they said today that Freddie Anderson's starting to skate again. He's back on his feet and hitting the practices. So
we in the Twilight Zone? Didn't I just say that?
I don't know.
Jeremiah said it. Like Rico was like the 5-second delayed echo.
Yeah, I literally just said that, Rico.
My cat was in the way.
Okay. I was like,
on that note, if we want to cap off a Carolina Hurricanes conversation, I wonder if they'll re-sign Pesci or not.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier with Andrew in the chat. Before you popped on, Hot Take, we were kind of looking at RFAs and stuff. And boy, he's not having a great year this year, but he's been good before. Does he fit Brendan Moore's thing?
I don't think
Andrew,
he does.
buddy, what are you doing over there?
Oh, I was looking at Pesci's stats.
Oh yeah, 3 goals and 4 assists, and he's -7 for 7 points, and he's like a -2, I think.
Andrew, you got to be the sports beard ringside reporter for the Canes, buddy.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm moving to North Carolina, but they're in North Carolina, right? I mean, yeah, Raleigh's in North Carolina.
Yes.
So,
yes, they are.
Is that where you're at, Andrew? Do you live in the area? So do you go to a lot of the Caniac? Do you go as a Caniac? You go to a lot of the games?
No, because I live like 2 hours away from there.
Oh, okay. So do you get to go like once a year or anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah. Well, Andrew, I appreciate you coming on. Is there anything else you want to talk about before you say goodbye?
No.
Okay, buddy. Well, thanks for popping on. For it's nice to put
the
a face
legend, Andrew. Let's go, Andrew. Woo!
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you.
Forward. Carolina's interesting too because they don't like to make moves, but
they need something, right? Somebody said Max Pacioretty earlier in the chat, but I don't know. I mean, he's got that no move clause. I don't know if the Caps.
I don't think they'll try him again. I don't know, but I mean, it does seem like they need something there. And honestly, I'm not sure what it is that they need. Maybe a second line center, maybe like Henrique or something like that. Like maybe, but I mean, they don't like to make moves. So
yeah, no, I could see Henrique working there. I mean, I think they might make a move. I mean, they got all the surplus at D, and so many teams need D. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. It's just crazy to me.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point. They could trade
Just check it.
Orlov. Orlov is not going to resign.
I think
again.
Orlov's only on a 1-year deal. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Right.
So Orlov's a guy that could move for sure.
I could see Orlov moving there. Yeah, for sure.
So John, I know we've talked about this before. You really want, and Rico has said this as well. As a Leaf fan, you would love Chris Tanev.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any? There's any?
What I was saying earlier, I honestly think the reason why this is a separate deal is because Craig Conroy, freaking beauty, Calgary Flames fans should be happy that he's there. He's going to create a bidding war here, Jeremiah. 100%. 100%. He's waiting for the first round pick plus. So I think the reason why he wasn't part of this deal was because he was confident in his return with Lindholm. And now he's going to be confident with his return for Tanev. So
I think if Tanev was included in the deal with what they got, I would actually think that's a huge W for Vancouver.
Oh, yeah. And that's why I think this is just a win-win with, Calgary's Flames fans got to be happy. But, yeah, I think Tanev, here's the scenario I see happening. I think if they could get a verbal agreement or some kind of sense that Tanev would re-sign in Toronto, I think the Leafs would be willing to give a pretty big package. Like, maybe get another piece from Calgary and give up, a first-round pick and, a B-level prospect, or, the comparable would be,
Do you want them to do that, though?
No, and I don't. That's what I was about to say. The comparable for the Leafs to make this trade would be what they gave up for Giordano from Seattle a couple of years ago, which was 2 second-round picks.
Which they don't have to trade, really. Recent one, anyway. So, because Dubas traded them all.
Yeah, so that's why I think the first-round pick and, a B-level prospect would be –
who's your B-level
prospect? Rico, would you do a first-round pick and Ronnie Hervadin for Tanev with no guarantee he'll re-sign?
Yeah,
it's tough, man, because Calgary's like you said, they're putting people in the stranglehold by isolating their players and not putting Lindholm and Hanifin or Lindholm and Tanev in a deal. You see what they got for Lindholm. They just isolate the player and look at they got. They gave up one player for this haul, and they're going to just isolate Tanev, like you said, too, and then they're probably going to do the same with Hanifin. But,
I think they're going to re-sign Hanifin. I have a suspicion he's going to take that.
I don't know, man.
8-year, $60 million deal. He's only 27.
Jeremiah, I'll play what Pearlo's saying. I'll play devil's advocate. Don't you think he would have accepted that by now?
Yeah.
The money's on the table.
I think he's going to wait after this weekend, and if he doesn't take it, they will move him.
He saw Tkachuk leave. He saw Gaudreau leave. He saw where these players are going. Gaudreau probably made a mistake. He did it for the money, be close to his family, whatever. But, Tkachuk's gone down to Sunrise. Go down to a no-tax state. Go back to your country. Go play for the U.S. somewhere. Finish off your career. Try to win a cup, because Hanifin's not winning a cup in Calgary anytime soon.
But in 3 years, like John said, in 3 years, he'll only be 30. It could be like an accelerated move if these young guys develop.
Well, Jeremiah, I was also going to say, I don't even know if Craig Conroy hates Trey Living because he was the former there. I actually think he might hate Trey Living because he freaking put that Huberdeau contract mess in his hands.
Yeah.
I
would hate him for that. I would hate him for that. Yeah.
They can't buy him out or anything there either, could they? Can you look at buyouts on Cap Friendly?
Yeah, you can. It's a mess, it'd go over I'm pretty sure it'd be a 13, 14 year disaster.
This may sound weird to you, or maybe not, but I see Tanev going to New Jersey.
I don't even think that's far-fetched, Pearlo. New Jersey needs a defenseman.
Yeah,
if they're going to add, though, don't you think they should just chalk this year up as they don't look good.
No, they need.
I was going to say
the only reason why they're not good is because their defense is too green.
But also, who's their goaltender?
Their goaltender.
Goaltending is the number one thing.
They should acquire guys with term. If anything, they should try to dump a couple of their contracts and be like, "Hey, Anaheim, what's it going to take to get Gibson and Gudis in New Jersey?"
What about Cam Fowler?
Oh, that would be unreal. But Fowler and Gibson combined is 13 million?
Yeah.
So I agree. They need a goaltender. They need a goaltender more than anybody, but they they could use a guy like Tanev there for sure.
Send Timo Meier to Anaheim. Bring in Gudis and John Gibson. Do it.
I would do it. I would do it right now. I bet you Tom Fitzgerald would do it. I bet you he would do it.
And then you could send Vanacek to Anaheim as well. See ya.
Yeah,
Well, okay,
Vanacek, they don't need back.
If you throw Vanacek in there, maybe I'm with you on that one. Yeah.
Pearlo, you would do that if you're New Jersey, Vanacek and Meyer for Gibson, Gudis, and maybe some depth, Sam Carrick in there.
Oh yeah. To get rid of Vanacek just on that alone, I would do that for sure. Because Vanacek is horrible.
Rich H says Kuzmenko might help Hubie if they put them together. So
Huberdeau, Kadri, Kuzmenko as a line, maybe.
Yeah.
I think they moved Kadri in a year or two too, John. We were talking about that before you came on. Like, he doesn't want to be, and then when you figure after next year, some teams will have 14, 15 million in cap space, right?
Yeah.
They could move that Kadri.
So I saw something. I'll just say this on here. I actually forget who said something, but about and then I was thinking of a possible trade proposal based on what I saw. What if Colorado gave Calgary a call and they realized what happened, their Stanley Cup success, and they go, okay, you guys, Calgary, we'll throw like a second-round pick or a couple picks next to these guys. You take the contracts of Ryan Johansson, Samuel Girard, and give us back Kadri. Would you do that if you're Colorado?
I'll go back that way. Oh, wow.
Say again.
So Ryan Johansson, his current cap situation, he was cut in half, so he's at 3.5.
Yeah,
then you add Girard's cap hit, which is over 5, so you're at about between $8 and $9 million of cap hit. Kadri's at a $7 million cap hit. You send those guys away, maybe attach a draft pick for the cap dump, and then you bring in Kadri to be the number 2 center behind McKinnon again.
So how long is I know Johansson signed next year as well too. How long is Girard signed for?
I think I don't know. Jeremiah, I don't know if you could pull it out. I think it's like 3-4 years around there.
I will.
It's
real
$5
quick
million.
out of curiosity, I wanted to see what the Huberdeau buyout would look like. So
I know
you guys want to see it?
$5 million.
I saw that. I mean, Rico, I don't.
No,
you and Pearlo, I don't know how you guys think about that, but like, it worked with Kadri's the 2C behind McKinnon. Like, that was the most electric second line center. Johansson, if you talk to Avs fans, they want Johansson out there right now. Like, and at the end of the day, think about the second line center options out there after Lindholm now. It's what, Sean Monahan? And I love Sean Monahan.
And Adam Henrique.
You're going to want a first-round pick for Monahan. So what are you going to do? You're going to do Monahan for a first? Or are you going to take the risk and bring in Kadri?
I honestly think Henrique is about as good a player as Kadri right now at the price. So if they're going to cover half the dollar value, then sure. But, I mean...
Yeah, Anaheim would have to retain 50% on Henrique for sure.
For sure. And so would Calgary. Calgary would have to retain too, and that's a long.
Well, it depends. I think Calgary could just move the Kadri's full contract if they're taking contracts back. Like I said,
if they take Johansson back,
then
maybe, you got maybe something there, because Johansson's ass. So it might be. Could see it.
I thought he was playing pretty good for them this year. I haven't heard too much negative. Is that?
No, man. Start talking to Avalanche fans.
Johansson's horrible. Johansson's horrible.
They're sick of it. I mean, Johansson as a third line center. Like, here's the thing: if they went out, if they could get Henrique out of Anaheim, get retention of 50%, and run McKinnon as the first line, Henrique as the second line, and Johansson the third line center, then I think we're having a different discussion. But Johansson as the lone second line center has not worked to the point where if you've looked at some games, they've had to boost Ross Colton to the second line center spot.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah. No, and he's a third, fourth line guy, really.
Yeah, he's not a second line center.
So Colorado has $7.7 million in projected LTIR space. You asked me about Girard, what he makes. Girard makes $5 million even for 4 more years.
$5 million.
Yeah, and then who was the other player that you asked about?
At 3.5 with the current retention.
Yeah. So he's at 4.
Oh, sorry, 4. Sorry.
I don't think they're going to retain that much for that.
So that's $9 million they'd have to move out. Who did you say to bring in? Kadri makes 6, doesn't he? 6, 7?
7, I think.
Almost 7. Yeah.
So yeah, that would more than make up. That would actually give you space to add maybe another player. So if they were, but man, I guess
I
if
think
you're
Calgary would do that, especially if they're planning to trade Hannafin and Tanev. I think Calgary would do that.
I just don't think that. I think
Georgia
that deal was on the table already with Colorado, and they didn't want to pay it. And I don't think they're going to want to pay it now either. I mean, the regression on Kadri is probably pretty huge. So I don't.
You're probably
think they're
right,
doing
but
that.
at the same time, Colorado needs to win now, and I mean, the second line center options, as I said, are slim.
and he knows the system, right? So you don't have to teach him; he can just slot right in, and it'll be like he never left.
I mean, let's just put it this way, folks: unless they get creative with a target, they have to go after Henrique or Monahan. Those are the only two options out there that are significant enough.
That's true.
Maybe Kuznetsov with money retained, they could get to.
Colorado's way too top heavy, man. If any of those top 4 or 5 guys go down in Colorado,
yeah, I think Kuznetsov would work for Colorado. I think they would make that deal at half retained.
No.
So, like,
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
He's actually played fairly well.
I would not even come close.
I was going
to
to say, I don't want to insinuate anything. I'll maybe send this off stream to you guys, but like, think about the guy that's already on Colorado. Do you really want to be bringing in another situation?
Right, but I think Kuznetsov, a change of venue, would do him well.
Rico, do you know what I'm getting at?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, there's enough projects there. I mean, out of all the buyout guys this year, I think Dallas did the best with Matt Duchene. I mean, Blake Wheeler's done okay in New York with the Rangers. He's went up and down the lineup, but I think Johansson was one of those things in Colorado that just
I wouldn't take his nets off at $1 million a year.
How about Casey Middlestat in Buffalo?
I don't think they trade him. They'd be dumb to trade him, I think.
Yeah.
They need to keep him, right?
I've heard some rumblings there.
Yeah. I think that would be a mistake for them. I want to caveat on this real quick, Pearlo. I want to caveat on this Kadri trade you were talking about. You know what Colorado needs more than anything? Goaltending. Because Georgiev is on pace to play like 72 games. They have the metrics, all the advanced analytics. If your goalie plays over a certain number of games, they have it tied to playoff performance. See, most teams don't want their starters playing more than like 55 games. So he's well above that. And he's having a good year. He's not playing bad, but their backup is dog shit. It's Ivan Prosvetov. I mean, he was a waivers claim. Like they need, hey Andrew, what's going on? They need so what about Markstrom and Kadri for Gerard? You're probably gonna have to throw a first round pick and then Ryan Johansson. So that would be $9 million coming off their books. Markstrom makes 5, Kadri makes 7, so that's 13. They'd have to figure something out where they could squeeze that in.
I mean, that's an interesting idea. Yeah, I mean, Colorado definitely needs a secondary goalie. I've talked about Fleury, but yeah, Markstrom's interesting. I still, I mean, Calgary, we're talking about Markstrom, Hannafin, Tanev, Kadri, all these guys could get dealt. I just wanted to, Jeremiah, I want to throw 3 names at you. There's been some talk about Ottawa with Josh Norris. That's interesting. I wonder what happens there. I know Columbus.
I gotta keep Pinto, man, because he's awesome.
Yeah, so if they're high on Ridley, Gregg, and Pinto, Josh Norris becomes expendable. They signed him to that long-term deal, but he becomes expendable if they're that high on Gregg and Pinto. Yeah. The other one I want to talk about that a lot of teams see high playoff value in is Boone Jenner, but Columbus loves him. So I don't know if they're moving him. But
tough for him to trade, but they've traded a captain before.
And I'll do one more here. In terms of if this team's out of the playoff picture, I wonder if teams put their foot forward is Yanni Gourde.
Oh, beauty.
Yeah. Well, they've got a couple guys.
Playoff guy.
Yeah, Yanni Gourde is a good one, but also, God, I hope they don't trade Yanni Gourde.
Eberle's on the expiring deal too.
Eberle too. Yeah, Jordan Eberle, nice little.
Oh, for sure. I think Eberle could get dealt. I was more focusing on centers, but I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard the Josh Norris rumors, and Jason York, I think, talked about that a little bit too. I think he's kind of been like, oh, if it was me, you know how some of these times these beat reporters, they'll throw out like a hypothetical, but they got fed something from the team. It feels like. I agree with you, man. I'll add a fourth one, and I think this guy would be a boon, as I like to say, to any team, especially playoffs. Nick Dowd from the Caps, one of the best face-off guys, third or fourth line center.
He would bring some good value, and I honestly, hot take, I think the Caps could get like a second-round pick for him.
Oh, I think he'd be perfect in Toronto, because then you could play. I know Domi doesn't want to play the wing, but his defense is good enough for the wing. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think he's good enough as a center. You throw Nick Dowd in there, I don't know. And that's a guarantee face-off winning guy. You know, which, like, I'm not saying the Leafs don't have it, but that would be a good one as Toronto. But any other?
I love it when Beard plays his own favorite team GM. You got Mantha, Pacioretty, Kuznetsov, Nick Dowd. You got situations for all these guys. I love it.
No, but Nick Dowd's name's been listed on the trade board. Like, that's not me. So
I like it though that you're creating shit for your own team though, like your team to get better and other teams to get better as well too. So I mean that's awesome.
I like the
Jeremiah, I
like the Norris trade a lot. I like the Norris trade. A lot. And in fact, I would say that if Colorado was going to do something, that would be something that
would be a good one.
Yeah, Norris.
Make Ottawa dump Johansson or take Johansson and Girard and throw a first-round pick in there.
And they still got to do something with their defense, right? They got to trade Shabbat or Chychrun. It makes no sense to pay 3 left ring shots, left D shots. I mean, what were
my take is they should trade Shabbat, but I think they'll trade Chychrun.
Yeah,
I agree.
And that's a big
I agree with you. I think they should keep Chychrun. And they gave up a lot for him, and they could probably get a decent amount for Shabbat. He's super young, and he's got a decent term. He's like $8 million. If
Pearlo, watch your Oilers on that one, by the way.
Oh, do you think they would take Shabbat? They'd have to get rid of Darnell Nurse, right?
Watch my Oilers on Chychrun. Yeah.
Watch your Oilers on either of those guys.
But how? Okay, so
God, I hope it's Chychrun. Yeah.
So
CC and a couple other things. Yeah, you could see it. Yeah.
Dude, Chychrun hits 107 miles an hour on the slap shot. You see the Ottawa Senators puck skills, the skills competition with the Senators? Chychrun hit 107 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was going to say, Pearlo, how freaking, I'll use the PG word. How amped are you if they get Ekholm and Chychrun on the top pair going into the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. How would I not be amped?
They're playing really good defensive hockey right now anyway.
Yeah. They're playing a 1-3-1. It's a beautiful system, but they definitely could use a guy like Chychrun. No doubt.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you put Ekholm and Chychrun together and face all the tough matchups, all of a sudden Nurse and Bouchard get a lot of easy matchups.
Yeah.
So you're keeping
Chychrun is not the greatest defensive player, but if you played with Ekholm, it would be perfect.
So let me ask you though, real quick. Edmonton has $200,000 in cap space. Chychrun's going to make 4 or 5. He doesn't make that much. He's under 5.
Right.
So you're going to have to move out 4.6.
Yeah, it would have to be CC and Fogle the other way.
CC, Fogle, first round pick, and probably their Peugeot?
Okay, Cody CC makes $3 million,
or Broberg or something,
or Broberg or something. Like
I was going to say, or you go insane. Pearlo and attach 2 firsts and Broberg to Campbell and just call it a day.
I would do that.
Pearlo's like, I'll take it.
No, I would do that. I would do that all day. If they're willing to do that, I'll do that.
Jeremiah, the non-biased approach. If you're Edmonton and Ottawa, who says no to 2 firsts, Broberg, Campbell for Chychrun?
Campbell, yeah. Ottawa does.
Ottawa could use Campbell right now in net. They don't have any.
No, sorry.
And Campbell only makes $385. That's a bargain compared to what they're paying Korpisalo.
Nobody could use Campbell in that. Nobody could. Yeah.
I love the hot things that get thrown between Beard and Pearlo. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, no, but you know these delusional. Pearlo's not a delusional Edmonton fan, but these fucking delusional Edmonton fans I see on the invaded daily face-off too. They're fucking like rats. They're everywhere. And it's like, if we saw Jack Campbell in a bag of nickels, we could get Wayne Gretzky. I mean, it's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. That's Rick from Red Deer.
Yeah.
Rick from Red Deer.
I swear.
I'm not going to argue with you there. Edmonton Oilers fans are stupid as shit. I'm
Whoa!
sorry. They're dumb. They're dumb as shit. They have
Rico,
no
I
idea.
swear the last time we were all together here, me and Rico were just like the viewers, and Pearlo and
peanut
Beard were
gallery.
going back and forth, and Pearlo was like, "Yep, Penguins are trading Crosby. Crosby's requesting a trade," and
Yep,
Beard was
I
going off
still
on
say
him.
that. I still say that.
I think he should ask for a trade. I don't disagree with
No,
Pearlo.
he agrees with me.
Yeah, Beard,
Ding,
you were
ding, ding.
Jeremiah, you were
You
saying that
were
a
like,
month ago.
never gonna happen. Never gonna happen.
Hey, you know who won me
Never
over?
gonna happen.
You know who won me over on this? Not Pearlo too a little bit. He made me think about it. But here's the thing that won me over on this. You guys know who Brian Hayes is from TSN? He works with Jamie and Odog. So I saw him on Sports Center with Jay Onright, and he was saying how the Penguins should do Crosby a solid and trade him. And I was like, Pearlo had that take. He stole it from Pearlo. And
A year ago.
Yeah, no, I mean, Pearlo,
Crosby got.
Wow, yeah.
I still say it. Crosby will not finish his career in Pittsburgh. I still say it.
Yeah. I think it would be insane for him to trade him this year. But boy, oh boy, if they trade Crosby, they'll definitely trade Gensel. And wouldn't that be interesting? I think Crosby has to play one place, though.
I think they trade Gensel, and then Crosby goes, okay, I'm out. Because they're not.
Crosby play with the Avs. That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be.
I think
One because it would break all the Oilers fans' hearts because Colorado with Crosby and McKinnon.
Imagine
Crosby's running that team right now. Fenway Sports and Entertainment owns more than just the Penguins, and that salary they're paying Dubas doesn't give two shits about them. They could turf Dubas tomorrow if they felt like it.
He needs to make some moves, bro. Yeah, I agree with you. You got that from Kipper and Porter today too. Yeah. I know.
Yeah,
well, I think they brought the young kid in to have like this progressive approach so they could get rid of Crosby. I think that's the reason why they brought the young kid in. It's a progressive approach. He's doing That's what I think. Crosby's gone, man. He's not finishing his career in Pittsburgh. I said it before, and I still say it now. There's no way.
Would you do me a favor at your girlfriend's house? Will you get that put on the mantle up there that on this date, Steve Duncan, a.k.a. Pearlo Wisdom, said Sidney Crosby will be traded, and just have it over the mantle there on the fireplace and when you're playing the piano or whatever you can. But I want to see it. Get somebody to Photoshop that in there for you.
I'm not going to lie to you. I had no idea Pearlo's real name was Steve Duncan. Who was the one that
called Lambert to get fired the next day? Who was that?
Hey, Pearlo, you did. I'm not shitting on you on this at all. I'm saying do this because I want evidentiary proof on our show. Hey, no, this guy called this a long time ago. I had never heard it from anybody. And then Brian Hayes goes on Canadian Sports Center, the biggest sports show on Canada, and with Jay Onright, and fucking says it. I'm like, oh my God, dude, Steve said this. It's like if Brian Hayes is saying it, and I'm not saying like Brian Hayes is big shit, but he has a fucking Leaf show every day, right?
Yeah. So I don't need to hear it. I don't need to hear it from anybody. I'll usually be accurate before most of the big guys are saying whatever they're saying.
No, man, I'm giving you credit all the way, Steve. Awesome.
Yeah, this is real talk, boys. We don't need sources.
Malkin, we don't need sources. I don't need sources.
I love it.
If you're looking at things logically, you don't need sources. The only one is Fried. Fried is a good source. I'd say Friedman he's really good. He's really good. And that's a guy I'll feed off. But besides that, they're all
Darren Dreger is a good source. There's a lot of good insiders. Chris Johnson, Frank Seravalli is a good source. There's
I would say Friedman and then Seravalli, and then after that it's just
since Seravalli gets half his shit stolen from Friedman.
Boys, not gonna lie to you, fucking hot take hockey was with the pisser at Morgan Riley that night, 2 urinals over, and he said, "Dude, how'd you like the game?" I'm sure if Hot Take would have threw something over at him and he just thought it was just a normal Leaf fan instead of a guy that has 55,000 subscribers. Hot Take should have just fired one over at him, man.
Yeah.
Well, it was a great game. That was a great game for the Leafs. They won 5-2. That was a great game. I want to see who Edmonton can move out, and don't tell me Jack Campbell I don't think any team is taking on that salary. So I just think it's going to be impossible. I think Edmonton has to just stick with what they got and hope Jack Campbell could come up and be a backup. I've heard he's played pretty well in the NHL and the AHLs of late. And if I'm the Oilers, you got Corey Perry for nothing. That's a nice ad. You just got to go with what you got.
There's a pretty good chance they just roll with what they got. Yeah.
Hey, see you, Tim. Sorry we didn't get you in more. Tim said it's pumpkin time for him. Looks like we lost John again. He probably got another call. It was so good to have him on if he comes back on. I so appreciate him coming on. He's the guy.
I gotta hit the boys' room. Give me 1 sec, boys.
Yeah, you're good. I'll take you down. I appreciate you. We got a hot take back. So yeah, hey, I appreciate you coming on, John. So awesome. I love that Josh Norris. Where could you see him go? Because since you asked me, I wanted to go follow back. And then Yanni Gourde. Gosh dang, Yanni Gourde would be good like anywhere too.
Yeah, I'll probably have to hop off after this because I got to get some food here and put in some reports for my job. But
me too.
Yeah, I think with Josh Norris, that one's really interesting. I think, I mean, in the past, I don't think it's a fit anymore. In the past, I had said Detroit, but I wonder if, this is just kind of me kind of throwing it out there, but I wonder if Anaheim trades Trevor Zegras. And
I've heard his name a lot.
So, I mean, that could be a change of scenery thing. We could see a couple big names like that, Zegras.
You know where I'd like to see him go? New York Islanders. Trevor Zegras.
There you go. I mean, a lot of people have talked about Montreal for Trevor Zegras. I don't know about that. I mean,
he's best friends with Caulfield. That's why, right? Aren't they best friends?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I also said Zegras to New Jersey would be a lot of fun. I mean,
best friends with Jack Hughes too. Yeah.
Yeah, well, because I was just thinking if Anaheim and New Jersey have a lot of fits there. I mean, we were just talking about Gudis, John Gibson, Fowler. I mean, Henrique is a former Devil, and I'm sure there's been a conversation there. I'm sure the Devils have called. So, for me, I mean, you go down the list, and I just said Zegras. The Devils and Ducks should be making a trade together at some point from now to the deadline. I mean, there's just so many fits that could work.
Well, and Henrique played there before, right? So
yeah, that's what I was just saying. He was a former Devil, so I think
he was on that Cup team that went to the finals with Kovalev, and they lost to I can't remember who won that Cup that year.
LA.
Was LA, okay. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, no, there's a lot of interesting scenarios. I actually saw that the Rangers could be looking at Henrique if they miss out on Monahan because of all the freaking bullshit with Drury and Jeff Gorton. That Montreal and New Jersey might not be able to make a trade together. So if that's the case, then New York,
Montreal, New York, yeah.
Montreal, New York, I meant. Yeah, so Montreal, New York. So if that's the case, then maybe New Jersey goes maybe the Rangers go all in on Henrique and steal the former Devil. That could happen. But yeah, and then the last one you said was Yanni Gourde. Yeah, I mean, if Colorado doesn't have any other options and they don't bring back Kadri or go for those other options.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, maybe Colorado just lost to Seattle in the playoffs and they witnessed how valuable Yanni Gourde is. And they've seen how Yanni Gourde was so valuable in the past with Tampa. I would imagine Colorado looks at all that, and maybe Yanni Gourde's a target for them.
Well, and you're keeping your fingers crossed if you're Colorado because they got to have Nichushkin back too. They got to have that secondary scoring. He's so big. He's so big in that secondary scoring.
Imagine a shit disturbing third line that includes Miles Wood, Yanni Gourde, and also former Lightning Ross Colton. That'd be an electric third line.
That would be awesome. If you're Seattle too, if you are on the cusp of the injuries are just too much and you're not going to make it, you definitely need to make moves to trade because
they should be trading Yanni Gourde. They should be trading Jordan Eberle. They should even look at trading some of their defensemen while they have a
Grubauer too. I think if they could move him because goalies are in such demand, and I think they could get out from that Grubauer.
I think he's still injured right now, but yeah, we'll see.
I heard the Emerald City hockey guys start out Dylan and RJ Eskinos that covers the team. I think he was saying the other day Gourde was playing. Not Gourde. Gourde is playing. We were talking about Yanni Gourde too. No, that Grubauer is playing. Yeah. I'll look on I think he is back. So anyway,
Yeah, I mean, Decord's just been running the show there, which respectfully, like,
they're not moving off from him.
No, Decord. I mean, it's crazy because 2 months ago I said Decord might get traded, and then I've eaten my words since. Decord's not getting dealt. Decord's the goalie for Seattle, but yeah, guys. Honestly, I think I've been on here for definitely well over an hour. I think
You've been over an hour, dude. We appreciate it.
No, yeah. I mean, I was gonna say I'm definitely down to come on more, especially leading into the deadline. And I know Jeremiah, I said let's definitely do a couple collabs leading into the deadline, and then obviously on deadline day, let's do something. But honestly, I'm super thankful for you guys having me.
I reached out to you March the 6th. It's a Friday.
I know. I told one of my bosses tonight. I was like, "Yeah, gonna have to take that Friday off for work."
Yeah, dude, and I will get up at 3 a.m. here or whatever. I think it starts so early, and I'll get on with you again like we did last year. And if you need to take a break or whatever, we're not going to stream. I've already told all our guys we're not streaming for that day anyway. So I love to do it with you. Also, it helps me a ton because I get my brand out there with your big thing, and hopefully you continue to grow. Yeah, I really hope you continue to grow. And John, I have to say, we don't get to talk too much face to face. So I just really cherish these moments and kind of enjoy getting to talk to you and actually see your face and it's not lost in chatting through the stream or whatever. Yeah, man, like I really want to see you keep growing and I just think the trade videos and stuff that you're doing, you're cranking out a lot. You're not being able to stream the games like you were, but like, dude, it's awesome that it's still like I get to have a conversation with you, those things. So I always try to watch or comment. I may not leave a comment every time, but definitely leaving a like and watching every bit of content you're producing. I know your life has been so busy and stuff. But it's still really cool that you care, like, and you've always said this. I know you've said this before. That Hot Take Hockey channel would always be a part of your life in some way or form. You're never going to let it go. And so I really appreciate that too. Like if I feel like, man, I really like to talk to him, I don't have to interrupt your day. I can just watch a video from time to time. So anyway, I wanted to appreciate that.
Oh, of course. And then I know the Edmonton trip's in the plans, but the next trip after that will be have to go to Barrie, do a Barrie Colts game with Rico there.
Yeah, Barrie Colts.
Yeah, buddy, let's do it.
Another Toronto thing. I mean, we could hit Toronto and Barrie. It's not like Barrie's that far away, so we could do both. When I come back, we can do the Hall of Fame game. We don't have to. You guys don't have to come to the actual Hall of Fame thing again this next time, John. But I didn't tell you after you left me from the Hall of Fame ceremony, and we got to talk to Kipper again, and I should have talked to Doug Gilmore, but so John Shannon comes up and talks with us, right? John, that was cool. We talked. Yeah. I talked to Christine Simpson. I talked to James Duthie. You got a picture with Davey Keon. I talked to Bill Armstrong and talked to him about Bill Armstrong's burner account. That was fucking awesome.
Did you send me that picture with me and Dave Keon, or was it on my phone?
I did send it to you, but I'll send it to you again because I'm going to send you any.
That was pretty funny. Yeah, I mean, we had.
Yeah. Well, you knew his grandson. He remembered you from your family.
Yeah, I knew. And Dave Keon's grandson. We have like a family connection. But yeah, man, honestly, like, I know I've told you a million times, but I'm forever grateful for that experience. That was so cool.
So
I know me, you, and Rico got the Leaf game together too, and that was
a blast. So we'll do that again, guys. We're doing that. So right after that, I went into the bar that was right there, and the guy, I go, it's a private event. And the guy goes, well, you have to have a special ticket. Well, I showed my Hall of Fame ticket. He goes, yeah, that's it. You're good. You can go in. Mike Vernon was in there, the fucking vice president of TSN, John Shannon. I talked to Bill McCreary, the old NHL ref. I talked to Simpson, Craig. Real tall guy that's worked for Sportsnet and TSN.
Craig Simpson?
Not Craig Simpson. Not Craig, because
Jim
Craig
Houston?
No, his last name is Simpson, but I can't think of his first name. I have a picture with him. Actually, I could probably show you.
Dean Simpson.
That might be it. You'll know. You guys will know because he lives in Vancouver.
Sean Simpson?
And I just
Rico Simpson.
Cliff Simpson.
Pearlo Simpson.
By the way, throw this out there on your trade You got my juices going with the trade. Norris
Ooh,
and
beard. You
Chikrin-
got Pearlo's juices going.
Pearlo's been brewing for the last 20 minutes while he hasn't been speaking it.
Yeah.
No,
The
yeah,
juices have been
exactly.
pumping
You're
up.
right.
This
I'm
guy.
thinking about it all day. Oh, him. Oh,
Dude, is
I
that
don't
Eric
know
Bouwmeester's dad?
That's what it
No.
looks like. Yeah.
It
No.
looks like Bouwmeester's old
Who
man.
is that?
No,
Who
he's
is
a
that?
media guy in Canada. Look, there's
Oh,
Dutty,
him.
Sam Rosen. There's some pictures from I got to take Henrik Lundqvist's hand.
Jeremiah,
stood
be
in the
careful.
right
What kind of
spot.
photo album is this?
This
Cool.
is just stuff from the Hall of Fame, bro.
Yeah, I'm
So-
pulling your leg.
That's right on.
Yeah.
Chikrin and Norris to Calgary for and a first-round pick for Lindholm and Tanev.
Actually, I think Jeremiah already knows this, but Rico's gonna get a friggin' good laugh out of this. I went. There was only one washroom at this Hall of Fame event, and I went to the washroom and
It was a shit show.
there's only two urinals next to Gino Reda.
Yeah, no, Gino
you
Reda was there
serious?
too. Yeah, Gino Reda was there.
Reda,
There's
nice.
John. Here's the photo. I will send this to you.
Yeah,
But there's
let's
you,
see.
David John,
Pearlo,
and his-
can you believe that though? A
Yeah.
massive Hall of Fame event. And there's friggin' one
Gino-
washroom,
Gino
two urinals.
Wow, one washroom and two urinals.
Yeah, it was bad. It was
Wow.
bad. I'm glad I only had to pee once. So
Or maybe there was
never-
three. It was two or three. I forget.
That's
there's
funny.
the dog trying to eat. My dog cleaned this plate, by the way. Anyway, and there's the view. You guys got to come see this from time to time. Come visit. You guys got to make a trip to Alaska
Yeah,
too.
we got to go.
Man,
to Alaska
what a
for sure.
time it would be just to get blasted on that lake in Alaska.
Just come
Yeah.
out. I mean, you don't have to even get blasted. You could just enjoy a nice day. Like, come out, paddleboard, just chill. Like, you got to come visit. I everything's on me, so you just got to pay for the flight to get here. That's the only thing. Or Pearlo, you can drive, and you could do it in like a half a day of driving. You could be here.
12 hours. 12 hours there. I would get there.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, maybe 15, depending on weather conditions.
All right,
Yeah,
so you
put
got
it-
okay. So me and Rico are gonna fly to Edmonton, and then the three of us will drive down to Alaska.
I'll do that. I'll do that.
Well, drive up. You'll drive up
Drive
to
up.
Alaska.
Sorry, drive up. I'm used to saying drive down.
If both
Yeah,
of
Bill,
you
because
guys
you live
come here,
in Ontario, yeah.
We'll
if
jump
both
on
of
Beard's
you
old
guys
homemade
come
lake with
here,
the
I will
paddle
drive
boards.
you there for sure. No doubt about
Put
it.
the paddle boards on Beard's Lake with a nice little 6-pack Alaskan lager, some waterproof Bluetooth speakers, and just let the hair down for the day and just
Yeah.
fucking talk hockey.
Yeah, dude, I watch in the summertime when the games are still going on in June. I'm out there on my paddleboard watching games on my iPhone, iPad while I'm paddling with the dogs. I'll do a show from the paddleboard before we're done with the year. I'll do a show from the paddleboard. I'll do a show. I don't like being stuck inside when it's nice outside. So
Are the
if we
flights
have-
cheap from Seattle to Alaska?
yeah, you can get in for like $350. You know,
not
if you
bad.
catch it far enough out. Yeah, it just
Not bad.
depends. And you know, they're discounting a lot of shit after all those Boeing failures.
Do you know how much it
So,
costs
like-
to go from Edmonton to Toronto? $750.
Jeez.
That's not
Yeah.
awful. You know what it cost me to fly from Anchorage to Toronto because of the Hall of Fame is considered a nonprofit? $300. So I'm coming back to Toronto like 100 times.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it was so inexpensive. It's more expensive for me to fly to Seattle than it was to Toronto.
Yeah.
So that's
I
all
could
I'm
drive-
saying. I'm coming for the Hall of Fame like every year I can, so I get to hang out with you guys.
I
But you
don't
had
think
to
there's
like planes,
any
trains,
place
and
in the United
automobile kind of
States
shit
that
to
I
get over
could.
here, didn't you?
What's that?
What now?
Wasn't it like planes, trains, and automobiles for you to get to Toronto? Like, didn't you have to go through like Chicago? or whatever?
No, it wasn't bad. No. On the way to Toronto it wasn't bad. On the way back, it was a little suckier.
He had to
No,
hop
I-
on 3 different flights. He had to hop on a canoe. Then he had to climb
No.
Mount Everest.
First of all, the Anchorage International Airport, there's
Yeah, you had to
350,000
ride
people.
Moose.
It's less than 10 minutes from my house. So it's the number one air cargo destination in the U.S. here. Like our air traffic in Alaska.
Jeremiah, didn't you tell me that like after when you got back, you were in hibernation for like a week?
Yeah, so I'll tell you. So on the way,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but hold on. on the way there, I went from Anchorage to Chicago to Toronto. No big deal. So I got a direct flight from Chicago, and then from Chicago to Toronto is like less than an hour. It wasn't very bad. And then I heard all these horror stories about Pearson. Cleanest, nicest airport, and I got out of there. I came from a foreign country. I got through customs and in and out of there so fast. I was like, oh my God. So, and I thought,
Yeah,
I don't
now it's a lot better. I was going to say, during COVID, it was brutal. Jeremiah,
Yeah,
keep going.
so-
Sorry, keep going.
No, you're fine. I was saying on the way back, I was like, well, okay, well, let's make sure on the way back so I left 4 hours before my flight. I got there. The lady's like, do you want to leave? Because there's really not much to do in this airport, which I was surprised. As big as Toronto is, their airport is not that big. I mean, by U.S. standards anyway. I actually was like, oh. The one thing I will notice, and John, you'll have to tell me if this is norm. So I got there early. They put me on an earlier flight, but that flight gate changed like 4 times in like 20 minutes. So getting out was a little bit different. Like I got through customs easy.
Yeah, I wouldn't say 4 times is normal, but like they've got so much shit going on, like musical chairs there, where my gate sometimes has changed like 2 or 3 times.
I've never had that happen in a U.S. airport. One, like if it changes once. And like they have a little basement area and like at Pearson. And I was like, holy crap, if I wasn't paying attention, I would have missed my flight because I went to 3 different gates. What happened that slowed me down too is I found somebody's wallet. So I gave it to one of the ticket agents. I was like, hey, I found this person's wallet. And it was American person's like driver's license and wallet, but all their money and stuff was in there and stuff. So I gave it to, I was like, hey, maybe you can page this person, find out what flight he was on or whatever. Because he was clearly waiting. But the time it took me to do that, my gate changed 2 times. I was like, holy crap. So on the way back, I had to go Toronto, Chicago. I was in Chicago for like 6 hours, 7 hours. And then
in Seattle, right?
In Seattle, yeah. But I was under the weather. Part of it was I didn't bring enough warm clothes for Toronto. It was a little bit colder there. And I should have dressed a little more. I didn't even bring a coat. So I should have brought a coat. And, I wasn't cold because, like, I'm a man and not a giant pussy. But, like, I came home under the weather. So, it did take me a while. But part of it is I forget here when it dries out so much in the winter here, I have to have a humidifier. And once I get the humidifier going, that helped me, and I was good. It took me about 3 weeks to kind of feel normal, but it's because I wasn't turning the humidifier on every night. In the summertime, it's not an issue at all. It's not dry unless you drink too much or whatever, but it's a little more humidity and stuff. So yeah, I didn't fly Air Canada, Andrew. I know you're there in the Toronto area. I know you probably fly. That's what you solely fly, probably, huh, John, when you're doing all your work stuff?
I mean, depends where I'm going. If I'm going to like Atlanta, Delta, if I'm going to like Dallas or American Airlines.
If you fly into Denver, it's almost 90% United because that's like where their hub is and stuff too. It's really, Minneapolis used to be Northwest, which is no longer exists. But if you,
United and United and Air Canada are partnered. Airlines. So I feel like the 4 that I always fly are either Air Canada, United, American Airlines, or Delta.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, when I moved back home, we used to drive to Minneapolis. It was like 6-7 hours from where I grew up, and we always used to fly out of Minneapolis, and we'd land in these places like Cincinnati and Atlanta on our way down to Florida. And just go into the airports, you'd be like Cincinnati red shit everywhere, Atlanta stuff everywhere. I ended up in like Charlotte, North Carolina on a bumper flight from Florida back one year as well too. It's just weird, man, when you fly through the States, unless you take a direct flight somewhere, like they'll just land you wherever.
Rico, it's funny you say that because I was saying my next hockey trip's got to be Minnesota, catch a Wild game.
Oh, hey, man, I'm going.
A lot of Thunder Bay people go there for the Wild games. They were loving it when Eric Stahl was playing there a few years ago. We had a lot of Thunder Bay fans there.
I think it's the 8th and 9th of April. I'll have to verify. But you guys should come down for the Frozen 4. I'm going to Frozen 4. I'm going to stay with my buddy Marty, but he lives about 40 minutes out. But it's 3 games in 2 days. It's like the 7th and 8th. I'll look it up. I'm on here. But I was just telling John before you were on, I watched BU place Northeastern last night. Northeastern won 4-3 in overtime. It was kind of a big upset, but there was sort of a bad penalty, it was called or whatever. But because Calabrini plays, right? And I walked away looking at Northeastern's. They have this center, so good.
Guy from the Quebec Junior League. Wasn't he from Quebec or something?
He was from Quebec, but he played in the USHL for Sioux City. Anyway, here I go.
USHL, underrated hockey league. Thunder Bay had a team in the USHL too. Patrick Sharp played for the Thunder Bay Flyers.
Okay, I know everybody. We're all going to end here real quick anyway. It's April 10th and 11th. Is it? No. It's the 11th and the 13th. Yeah, the Frozen 4 is the 11th and the 13th of April. Anyway, I'm going to go. It would be cool if you wanted to meet up. You guys want to meet up? Let's go. It's right off for the show. So I think the tickets are going to be
live, or we could do a live stream from there.
I'm going to try to go live from there. Yeah, I'll try to go live from there. The game is 5 p.m. The championship game is 5 p.m. I think that's a Saturday. So I'd probably go live Thursday, and then we after the prelim games. But
yeah,
the cool thing about it is you only need to buy 2 tickets. So you buy tickets you get into both semifinal games on the 11th, and then you buy a championship game. So, and maybe if you guys couldn't afford to do the championship or whatever, and you just do the semifinals, and we watch the championship in a bar or something, that'd be cool. Anyway, I would enjoy that. I'm gonna let everybody go. I got to eat some dinner. It's like almost 8 o'clock here. It's like 7:30. So that means it's like almost midnight on the East Coast. And we started early. We've been going for 2.5 hours. I'm going to upload the whole thing. I appreciate everybody coming out. Hot Take Hockey. Thank you so much, John, for coming on. I appreciate you just being such a big part of the show.
I appreciate all of you guys.
Yeah, I just appreciate
I'm going to go get some food now.
Yeah, get some food, man. Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you, man, for coming on early. Rico, all you guys, have a great night. We'll see you later.
Yep. Chat soon, guys.